I will have to pause on that one because that moving along. Cause that was your last pick, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
So underrated films. Drive.
Rough.
No, that is on my list here.
Underrated.
It is
It's
underrated.
7.8 on the IMDb. How can you say it's underrated?
Because it should be higher. I think it should be higher than that.
Loves this movie.
No, you don't. You don't, do you?
Back to the Brojection Room podcast. I'm Gaz.
I'm Jack.
And welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Missing in action last week. First, thanks, Sam, for filling in. Yeah, really good discussions for the both of you. It's interesting. Some of your favourite films are actually, or Sam should I say, it's kind of one of them's my least, but we'll get into that a different day. Yeah, he did a great job. But we're back. I have quite a good episode planned, if I do say so myself. So what's going on today is a overrated, underrated episode today. We have got lists compiled. We've got 5 overrated films, and we've got 5 underrated films, films that we think fit that category. And there, I have a list for Jack. Whether he 20 films of there's been a few lists that I've been online and found on IMDb and Letterboxd. I've compiled them, which films on the most of those lists, and I'm going to read them out to Jack, and Jack will let me know if he thinks they're overrated, underrated, and appropriate or appropriately rated. And then we'll probably have a bit of a discussion, debate. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of films here that we are going to vastly disagree on. So this is quite an exciting one. I've been looking forward to this. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, same. I've been looking forward to it. I know there's one that's on your list that I'm definitely going to disagree with. I'm pretty sure it's on there.
Well, I'm sure you'll find out. But before we jump into that, we're just gonna go over some latest any movie news. We do keep up to date with whatever's going on in the world.
Yeah, the one that I saw Ryan Reynolds posting on Facebook and all the other social media platforms that he put A over the Avengers logo.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, to be honest, like quick thought on that, I'm not really a fan of it. I'd rather just keep it a secret. I don't see the point in doing it. But
I think it's pretty obvious he's going to be cast in Doomsday, isn't he? Really, I think it's pretty common knowledge.
Yeah, yes, it's like if we all know he's going to be in there anyway, what's the point?
I agree. So yeah, I mean, my quick thoughts on that. I think it's pretty written in the stars. There's going to be a lot of people coming in. I mean, you've got the Fox's X-Men already in there, so obviously Hugh Jackman's going to get announced at some point. Like, you can't have the original X-Men cast and not have Hugh Jackman in it. But my only concern is I think the scale of what they might be going for, and having Deadpool in that movie, I don't know if it might take me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, just so it doesn't turn silly.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, we know he probably make some comment about Robert Downey Jr. being Doomsday, going, hang on a minute, I can see something along those lines. But I mean, that'd be fine. But balancing the comedy element to the story they want to tell, I hope it doesn't hinge on shadow it, as they say.
Yeah. Should mention his role as Tropic Thunder, Kirk Lazarus.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah, that's the main.
Definitely won't do that.
No, definitely not. My little bit of news. I've only got 2 pieces. The first one is the Spider-Man suit. It's been announced Tom Holland's in for the new Spider-Man suit for Brand New Day. I really like the look of the design. I like the raised webbing. It gives me Tobey Maguire sort of Spider-Man suit vibes. There's a couple of images that they've been in. I believe they're in
Glasgow.
Glasgow, yeah, good old Glasgow. Up the Scots. No, never mind. The film, they've turned a street in Glasgow into New York, basically. Makes it cheaper filming it over here instead. That's fine by me. And they didn't hide it. He was on the show. He was taking photos with fans. Fans were actually on the set watching him film. There's a tank. There's explosions. There's him swinging. It looked all quite cool. Obviously, we love that side of seeing behind the scenes and stuff like that. So, and it was nice to see Tom Holland interact with the fans. The pictures with some of the kids dressed in Spider-Man suits. I'm intrigued by Brand New Day. And my other bit of piece of news is after the success of James Gunn, the head of Warner Brothers, came out and made a couple of statements, just talking about the next, the future of the DC studios under James Gunn. But they've just gone over the next sort of couple of years of what the plan is. We've got 2 movies a year but they're not going to be straight up movies. There's going to be TV shows. There's going to be, obviously movies. They're looking at animation movies as well. They're looking at video games. He says James Gunn is preparing the next installments of the DC super family, including Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which comes out 2026, and the Clayface movie directed by Mike Flanagan, which is coming out next year as well, and the next Wonder Woman. In addition, the Batman 2, scheduled to release in 27, is preparing to begin shooting next spring, among several other projects in development. So I'm hoping for the best because I'll say we reviewed Superman. I'm obviously massive on it. It's one of my favorite films. It's probably the favorite film of the year so far for me. I know you weren't high on it, but it's exciting, especially as a DC fan. It's so yeah, I'm excited. I'm pleased that it's doing well. So
Good.
those are my two pieces of news.
Okay.
Quickly, we're gonna jump into our at the start of every month. It's a little thing that Jack and I decided we want to do. Is at the start of every month, we're gonna give our four favorite films of the month, a bit like a letterbox thing in a way.
Yeah.
Just some movie recommendations. If you have never seen these before, well worth a watch. We're just gonna quickly give them, obviously give the name of the film, a brief plot, what we quickly liked about it, and then move on. We'll try and keep this quite short, but it's
Yeah.
yeah. So do you want to jump in first?
Yeah, sure, yeah. So for the month of July, the four that I enjoyed, well, I enjoyed more than four, but these are ones that stand out. The first one's called The House That Screamed in 1969.
Oh wow,
Yeah. Directed by Chicho Ibanez Serranda. Yeah.
nice.
It sounds like a generic sort of story, but it's set place in an isolated female boarding school. And it's run by Mrs. Fornow, who's like headmistress. She overprotects her son, who gets up to some. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but like I say, it sounds like a generic sort of. It is a horror. I
It
wouldn't
sounds
say
like a
it's
Matilda.
no, it's definitely not like a Matilda. No. It's a horror, but I wouldn't say it's like scary. It's more just the atmosphere. It's
Yeah,
more like unnerving, and some of the shots are a bit like, ooh, But
kind of tension filled in a way.
yeah, tension filled, yeah, and really, really like intriguing. And it was one of those. As soon as I watched it, I brought it. So
Oh well, fair enough.
yeah, yeah,
So it is unlike Jack for to buy things straight away that he loves. It takes you a couple of watches to
yeah,
display whether or not it's Blu-ray worthy, as we like to say between us two.
yeah, yeah. The next one I have is Eastern Promises. Did you
Is
watch
that
that?
Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I
So
never watched that.
it's about a Russian teenager living in London who dies during childbirth, but leaves clues in her diary that could tie her to a um, unconsensual activity involving a Russian mob family. Yeah, and you just get to see Viggo Mortensen's pee for all the lads and ladies out there. So, but yeah, that was a yeah, pretty solid like mob film. Yeah, I'd recommend that one. The third choice, The Oxbow Incident,
Okay.
1943. You watched that one? Henry Fonda. Um, Posse discovers a trio of men they suspect of murder and cow theft, and a split between handing them over to the law or lynching them on the spot.
Oh, is
Yeah, I won't go too
it a
much into
western?
detail on that one. Yeah, yeah, it's Western.
Oh wow, that's something I'll watch.
Yeah, that one's really solid. I really enjoyed that one.
All right.
Um, and then the last one is Cider House Rules, Tobey Maguire, Michael Caine.
I've been meaning to watch that. I can't find it. It's not on any streaming platform at the minute. Do you just go ahead and rent it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about an orphan who doesn't get adopted, and it's a really good story. I won't waffle on too much because I don't keep you too long, but I recommend that. I think that's on Now TV. I want to say HBO.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll say I'll definitely give that a watch then. Yeah. So from there, it's solid four. This is what I like. I like as I like about you. It's you are very out there films. Films that you wouldn't necessarily hear of or go under the radar. Your proper film. Your film etiquette is very old school, isn't it? You like the old movies, should I say, a lot more.
Yeah, yeah. I think the older ones are like way better than the newer ones, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good. I think because you mentioned films, or you just mentioned All My Favorite Fonda. I never heard of that. Now I'm going to go and check it out. So no, yeah, it's your log of films is really impressive. So my favorite for the month. I'm going to start with The Damned United. In 2009, directed by Tom Hooper. It's a biopic on Brian Clough, who people any if there is any um
Football
people
fans.
not live football fans or people who don't live in the UK or don't know football. Brian Clough is a very famous British manager, well known for Nottingham Forest, winning his league in 1982. But this is about he takes over Leeds United. His abrasive approach and his clear dislike of the players' dirty style and play makes it certain there's going to be a friction Glimpses of his early career help explain both his hostility to previous manager Don Revie and how much he is missing right-hand man Peter Taylor. So, very quickly, what I love about this film is that it highlights how important an assistant manager is in football for the manager. It shows that when he goes to Leeds and he doesn't have Pete Taylor with him, he really struggles. He really connects with the players. Performances by Michael Sheen and Timothy Spall are excellent. They're both really solid performances. And if you're into football, if you like your biopics, this is definitely one to give a go. I really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 out of 10, especially being us being football fans, anyways, and British football as well, the proper British football and soccer. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely would recommend that. The second one I watched is one of my favorites of the month. Is Predator: Killer of Killers. It's on Disney Plus in a minute. It's animation directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who directed Prey. Um, it says, while three of the fiercest warriors in human history, a Viking raider, a ninja in feudal Japan, and World War II pilot, are killers in their own right, they are merely prey for the new opponent, the ultimate killer of killers, which is the Predator. This is solid. I went with zero expectations going into watching this, and I came out enjoying the hell out of it. It was so much fun. The animation style, the designs of the Predators, the cinematography for an animation movie, it was so good to watch. I think animation style might be the way going forward because you can get away with a lot more. Because
Mm,
if this was made in live action, you would think you would question everything. You think they would never survive that. That would never happen. Whereas animation, you can get away with it a lot more. So with animation, my point is that it get easier to get across in animation form. So yeah, that was my third one. Definitely would recommend that one. I'm going to quickly gloss this one. I've re-reviewed it, but one of my favorites of the month is the new Superman. I highly would recommend that. Definitely give that a watch and a rewatch. No, we haven't seen this, and I didn't log it. We haven't seen this for many years. And rewatched Treasure Planet, and
bloody hell.
oh my god, it's nostalgia. Not nostalgia. As childhood watching this,
Mm.
this was absolutely sublime.
I'll have to watch that.
I loved it. I remember we used to watch it on repeat as kids.
Yeah, I remember the
Um,
robot thing. Sorry, going to McDonald's and having to get their pieces to that robot.
Robot, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, but this is when Disney would take risks with their films. The
original.
animation style, it had original ideas. Yeah, okay, yeah, people can easily turn around and say, "Oh, this was based off, Treasure Island," but whatever. It took an idea and it did something different and did something quite original. You got a a pirate with a surrogate father story. Watching the RLS Legacy, the ship taking off it's just pure magic. The whole space sequence with the moons, the spaceport, it's sensational stuff, man.
It's
To see,
Joseph
and this,
Gordon-Levitt, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is Jim. The CGI for 2002 is better than some of the stuff we get now. And it's all the way back then. Every character has something unique about them. There's so much charm and heart with some breathtaking sequences. And
Don't know.
also the soundtrack, I'm Still Here. I've had that on my playlist on repeat since. It's pure cinema. I forgot how much I love this
You'll
movie.
see.
I need to find yeah,
Yeah,
pure cinema. I need to find it on Blu-ray. I really
yeah,
do.
yeah.
So those are our four favorites of the month. If any of them take your interest, go ahead and watch them. Let us know if you do watch them and what you think. And without further ado, shall we get into the overrated
Yep.
segment? And I'll let you jump in first, Jack.
Okie doke. I'm looking forward to this. My first one is The Lion King, 1994. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's my least one of my least favorite Disney films.
Yeah, yeah, same. So I think it's got very poor pacing. It seems that things happen at the start of the film. Everyone's watched this, by the way, so I don't
Yeah,
even
full
need to.
spoilers for all these films.
Yeah. So, like, Mustafa dies because Simba's a little bitch, basically. He just doesn't do as he's told. So he gets his dad killed, and it's all very sad, yeah. And I actually like Mustafa. I think he's the best character. So Simba is
Yeah,
just like an unlikable character, in my opinion. He just whines. He's just a whiny bastard, man. The whole time. He's always just bitching, moaning. He's just impatient. And I just
yeah,
can't get behind that. And
no,
it's just like they're all just walking through the jungle or desert or whatever. They're just walking through it, singing songs about stuff. And don't get me wrong, some of the songs are catchy. Like the best one, um, Jeremy Irons, "Be Prepared."
that's my least favorite
That's
song in
your
the
least
film.
favorite.
Yeah,
That one's
he can't
that was quite
sing.
catchy.
He
Yeah,
can't sing.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bloody, like he's the next fucking Elvis Presley. I think it's like it's just a bit catchy. It's like, yeah, right, yeah, so you can bop your head to it, whatever.
Oh
Um,
my god. Okay.
but overall, the plot is very simplistic. It's a lot like Hamlet, like
Mm,
Shakespeare's Hamlet. It's the same sort of vibe to that. Um, yeah, Nala. Remember Nala? Yeah, exactly. Another one. Another one is just there. She's Simba's bitch. Um,
Oh, it's the love interest.
the love
Right.
interest. Yeah, she's just there and exists. It's actually incest because they're cousins. So, so yeah, there's that going on for it in a kids' film, uh, and she's
Lovely.
just boring, uninteresting. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so the only a couple of well, say couple. Jeremy Irons has Scar minus the singing for you.
Mm,
I think he's alright because he's got the voice. He's very menacing.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so he plays a good part. James Earl Jones as Mustafa. You know, he's got an
Iconic.
iconic
It
voice.
is
Yeah,
iconic. Yeah.
yeah. And the animation, it's nice. But
Is that it? Just nice.
yeah, but I mean, a lot of people say like the animation's incredible, but they've done stuff.
Yeah.
Disney's done stuff years ago that has been more impressive in my opinion, like Alice in Wonderland. Like
Well, and you can even argue the point of the film I just mentioned, Treasure Planet. The CG compared to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I mean, oh no, that's later on, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's later on, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and I think this film gets away, but like your point with Treasure Island is the nostalgia. I
Yeah.
think people are nostalgic about it, and that's fine. I'm not. I ain't got a problem with that. Like, if you find a film that you love nostalgic, like that's fine. But for
Yeah.
me, I just don't see it. I really
Yeah.
don't see this as being. It's like really highly rated as well, and everyone says like when you talk Disney, it's like Lion King, and everyone's like,
Best
yeah,
one. Yeah.
undisputed. It's like, nah, actually, not for me.
No, we'll have
Definitely
to
not for
do
me.
a Disney ranking of their movies. We're not. I say we're not bad. We're not heavy on Disney. We watched obviously a lot of their movies, but we never actually said what our favorite ones are, like on top of our heads. So no, I would agree most of your point. I do think Lion King is vastly overrated. I'm not massive on the Lion King. I think I would definitely agree with that. It's vastly overrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, I think my main issues with that is that once Mustafa dies,
Yeah, the film
and
stops.
yeah, the film starts, and we got this, and like I say, Simba is very, very boring and annoying. So no, I wouldn't disagree with that. My pick,
Yep.
so my first one is Shrek.
Oh yeah, Shrek. Yeah.
I think Shrek is vastly overrated. It was fun as a child, I will say that. Watching it as a kid growing up, it was fun and I was entertained. Watching it as an adult, the humor doesn't land for me. The animation, I think, is quite bad. Shrek is annoying, along with Fiona, and Donkey is one of the worst fucking characters ever invented. Does my bastard head in.
He's supposed to, and he donkey. He's annoying.
Yeah, I know. I get that's the point. He's supposed to be an arse, literally, but he's just not. I don't think that's necessarily, or it kind of is necessarily down to Eddie Murphy's performance in that. But I just rewatching it, I just didn't think anything landed as well as what it did about 20 odd years ago when it came out. It just
Yeah,
didn't. It just doesn't hold up for me. And I'm looking back at people saying it's DreamWorks' best movie. I'm thinking, no, there isn't. I could probably name you a couple that are probably better. I would, honest to God, I rate. Do you remember the movie Ants with the Z at
yeah,
the end? I rate
yeah.
that higher than Shrek. And everyone
That's,
hates that movie, so you can.
mm.
It's not my underrated list, but I'll definitely put it up there. Yeah, the dragon sequence, yeah, it's exciting. There's, the message behind it saying they don't have to be perfect in order to fall in love with somebody. I get the message; it's nice, but it's not as good as what people remember. I think people need to get their head out the sand and think, no, when you watch it again as an adult, it really does not hold up.
I think it's fine. I think it's like I think when watching it as an adult, because I have seen it a few times as an adult. I think it has got some humor for adults, but it's very inappropriate when you're looking back at it. So I think that's why a lot of adults like obviously it's a kids' film overall,
Hmm.
but it does have like the adult humor. Like looking back at it, like Lord Farquaad basically gets a hard on when he sees
Yeah,
Fiona's
yeah, I've
Fiona's
seen
thing.
that. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah, he gets a little stalk on. So
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching that bit, and again, maybe it's just my sense of humor. I just watching it, I didn't laugh as much as I did years ago. Like obviously as a kid, it's different, but watching it as an adult, I think I was preparing myself to laugh. But I
mm,
don't want to be one of those typical like haha, like oh yeah, that was funny, like very
mm.
generic. I want something to actually make me like get a reaction out of me. And rewatching Shrek, I got nothing. I like the themes of the movie, comedic wise. I just don't find it as funny. And I think the bit gets the third act drags a lot for me.
Yeah, I give you that.
To be fair, the funniest joke in that movie is the scene when they roll up to the castle, and then he goes, "So this must be Lord Farquaad's castle," and he says, "Do you think he's overcompensated for something?" I did genuinely laugh at that bit. So
Mm.
I'm not sitting here and saying people. Well, I am really. It is overrated. I don't think it's as funny. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, But
Mm.
when people hold it on their pedestals of saying it's DreamWorks' best movie, it's one of the best overall animated movies ever, and that's when I'm like, draw the line, going, no, it actually isn't. I think I gave it a 6. It's not great. So if I say giving it a 6 doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it's not
Above average.
amazing like what everyone thinks it is.
Yeah. 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 That's fair enough. I see where you're coming from. There's better DreamWorks ones than that one.
What's yours?
My one might land me some shit, but I've gone for a Space Odyssey.
Never watched it.
Okay. I think
Yeah, this is all you now. I'm listening. I'm listening
it
to you
came
now.
out in '68, I think. So
Is this
back then,
Kubrick?
Kubrick,
Kubrick,
yeah,
sorry. Yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah. So back then, it's a technical achievement. I'm not going to dispute any of that stuff. Like, it looks amazing for what they did back then, and it still does hold up, like the space stuff and everything they did. I can't knock them. Yeah, that aspect of the film, it's like incredible. And there's a character in there called Hal. He's like an AI in the ship. I won't spoil it because you might want to watch it. To be fair,
Yeah, I do. I do actually. Yeah, try not to spoil it as much.
yeah, so he's like scene in that. It's really good. That's probably one of the best parts in it. But other than that, there's no real plot or engagement. It's just like, and I know what he's going for. He wants you to feel like time is passing and all that sort of shit. But it's just difficult to get on board when, especially for me. Like, I need some. I don't obviously need because I watch anything. Like, I'm not fussed. I'll literally watch anything. So like, it doesn't need to like hook me. As long as by the end of it, I can look back and be like, that was good. That was worth the wait. Or that part in the middle where it's a bit slow. It did end and like this and that, whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like this one, it's like things are just not happening, and by the end of it, you're just like, like
Yeah.
there's no real end, like punch or nothing, absolutely nothing in there.
So do
Um,
you feel that there's a lack of story?
Definitely, yeah. So yeah, there's long, really long-winded scenes. Like I saw this at the cinema, not in '68, but when
So you look
they,
very good for your age.
yeah, well, no, when they put it on the cinema like a few years back, I thought, oh, I'll watch that on the big screen. That'd be awesome. And because I'd watched it before, the start, it's like pitch black and there's music playing, but the music kicks in a while after, and people was like, oh, the thing's broke, it's not working, but it's like I know what they're going for as like the Kubrick's going for. Obviously, I won't spoil it until you watch it, but there's a lot of scenes like that where things just happen and we're just there. It's just like we're existing,
Yeah.
and I think like I keep repeating, I think that is the point. But I don't mind that as long as by the end of it we've reached a conclusion or we see something at the end. So
Yeah.
then looking
Yeah.
back, I can be like, right, I understand why that was there or X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah.
Mm.
It's just overrated. I think everyone should watch it at least once. It's one of those because it
Yeah.
is.
I think if you're a cinephile, it's one
Yeah,
of those
it's
where
got you
you
got to
have
watch
to,
it.
you have to watch it.
It's
Yes.
loads and loads and loads of directors' inspiration, like Christopher Nolan. It's loads of there, and you can see why. You can see why because what Kubrick did back then in '68, I think it was like I say, a stream.
Yeah.
So
No.
inspiration wise, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting you say that because a lot of people hold Stanley Kubrick in very high regard. But
I
for
do.
me, I mean, he's directed one of my favorite movies of all time, which is The Shining. And I've seen Eyes Wide Shut, which people regard as his best work, and that's his favorite film. I think that film's quite bad. I'm not massive on it. I think it's quite poor.
I do like
Um,
that. I wouldn't say that's his best one, any
no,
stretch.
definitely not. I mean, I've my favorite film of his is obviously The Shining, but I also say Paths of Glory.
Paths of
Kirk
Glory.
Douglas, yeah, excellent film. So
Yeah,
it's interesting you say that because I think with Kubrick, I mean, this is probably one of the best parts about film, being like film nerds, is that you can sit here and easily argue, because a lot of people regard him as Odyssey as one of his best works, and maybe that's holding him high on a pedestal, thinking, well, actually, he has done a lot better
yeah,
quality made films. So I say maybe he was being a bit pretentious with this film by the sounds of it.
yeah, yeah. I struggle really to. I mean, like I've been saying, yeah, I think it's just one of those for its time. That's where it holds up. I think Interstellar is so much better than this. Saying that, I'm not here like you mentioned with Shrek. If someone was to argue this with me, I'm not that passionate. Where if someone said this was their favorite film of all time, I would be like, yeah, okay, I can, fair play, whatever.
Yeah,
It's not like I'm that passionate. Where I go, no, this is bollocks. It's nothing
yeah.
like that. It's just I do enjoy it. Gave it a 7. So like
There's something you like about it.
yeah, I think it's more to do with the Hal. I wish that Hal part was longer and like the visual aspect of it. I think like holds up like what they
Yeah.
did, but story wise, it's a stinker. Like To be honest, it is very
Interesting.
pretentious, like you said.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. It is on my list. I will watch it eventually. Getting
Yeah,
around to it. Yeah, I've
let me know
just
what you
got a lot
think.
of things.
Yeah,
So I'm going to go off this mine for my pick. I'm going to go off what you just said about yours. So we talked about Kubrick being regarded as one of the best directors made ever graced the
conceived.
screens conceived. Yeah. I'm going to go talk about one of my favorite directors, which is Alfred Hitchcock. And
Okay.
my next pick is a film of his that people also regard as his best, but I watched it and I was vastly disappointed. But that's me not saying it's a bad movie. When people regard this as his best movie, I would see this is where we differ. I would argue this point, and my pick is Vertigo.
Yeah, you
I
know
think
what? You know what? I was really close to putting that on my list.
you shouldn't, man.
I was,
Honestly,
oh,
I was so disappointed.
yeah, I was so close. I wanted to rewatch it before putting on this. It's been a few years since I've watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah, carry on. So yeah,
I watched it last year. I was going through a bit of a Hitchcock phase, so I was watching his 20s films. I was watching his 30s films. I've eventually, because we live in the UK, it came on BBC iPlayer.
mm,
I thought, finally, it's a film I wanted to watch. So I watched it, and I left. I was so excited to watch because, like I say, he's one of my favorite directors. People say regard this as his best work, and I'm thinking, okay,
Psycho.
well, from Psycho, Rear Window,
Mm.
Dial M for Murder, um, North by Northwest, North by Northeast, Northwest. I
Yeah,
can't
North
remember.
by Northwest. Yeah,
North, yeah. So when people say that Vertigo is his best movie, I'm like, oh wow, this has to be something special. And I came, and when it finished, I just sort of sat there. I don't know, I was just a bit like, you know
yeah,
what I mean? I felt that James Stewart's character was very annoying, and he's nothing against his performance. It's
yeah,
probably what Hitchcock wanted him to do, but he was too whiny. I think the mystery was quite. It wasn't interesting. Like I like a mystery to keep me engaged throughout the whole thing, makes me question everything. This film I felt was quite, and it got to a point where I'm not going to come across as big headed, but you know when you start thinking how things will plan out, and
yeah,
then I think it's kind of a spoil. It is a spoiler. I saw it last year, and it was a dupe with the actual wife. The twist that twist at the end in the bell tower.
yeah. The
I don't
Belter.
want to
Yeah,
say I called it for life, scene for scene, but I had an inkling that that might happen. So when it did happen, I was really, really let down by it. But that's not me saying it's a bad movie. I think it's directed very well. I think it's really nicely shot. James Stewart is really good in the movie. But in terms of story wise as a mystery thriller and people putting it on that pedestal of his best movie, no, I can't say that. I have to say it is very overrated. And it's one of his highest rated movies.
eight
I might
point
fact
two.
check myself. I think it's got an 8.2.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm sure it has. Just quick, while I quickly check, yeah, what are your thoughts on Vertigo?
Well, like I say, it's been a few years since I've watched it. I bought it out somewhere over there, and yeah, like a bit like you say, I heard good things about it.
Yeah,
So, and by the end of it, I was a bit like, this isn't. This is definitely not his best. And it also says a lot as well because one of my favorite directors, Tarantino, he's not big on Hitchcock at all, is he?
no,
He's
it's not.
really he's really not big on him. So and like you sort of feel like you're not set up for failure, but you're sort of fighting an uphill battle when you're questioning like these directors because like they have like a clout and respect behind their names, so like Hitchcock
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
like you're a bit like, oh well, actually I didn't really like that. So when you got Tarantino saying that Hitchcock isn't as good as like they say or whatever, yeah, you're definitely on something. So when like Vertigo ended, I was a bit like you say, a bit flat. I didn't really think it was all that because doesn't it
yeah.
end where he's looking down the stairs and it's going all spirally vertical?
Yeah, Vertigo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It,
But I really
I
wish I
was,
watched it now, just so I could have a bit more to say about it. It's been a few
yeah.
years, like I
I
say.
watched it early on last year for the first time. So I was the same as you. I was thinking I might give this a rewatch before we do this, but I wanted to watch two other films beforehand because these ones I really strongly feel about. North by Northwest is an 8.3, and Vertigo is an 8.1, 8.2. Sorry.
Oh,
So
well,
it just shows
yeah.
his range as a
There's
director.
not a lot between them.
No, there isn't, no. So,
Mm.
but I think when people say that, if you would, I mean, very quickly, I won't. If I were to do my top five, I definitely would do Psycho, Rear Window, The North by Northwest. I'm massive on in one of his earlier 40s films called Saboteur, and The Lady Vanishes, and that's 1938. Lady Vanishes is an excellent mystery thriller, and that's done a lot better than Vertigo. So
Right.
no, yeah, Vertigo is definitely overrated.
Mm. So my third choice, There Will Be Blood.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have
Yeah,
you watched
yeah,
it?
yeah. Yeah, I like that movie. I wouldn't say it's overrated, but I do think that it's slightly overhyped. Oh, they're saying it's overrated.
So
It's not as amazing what people say. I still think it's a great movie.
yeah, so I was tempted to rewatch this one again, but I didn't have time to be honest. So I could in a year's time or a month's time, whatever, I could be swayed. I could be like, actually, I was talking at my ass, whatever. But for what I remembered, I think it highly relies on Daniel Day Lewis. I think if
Hmm.
there was anybody else, I don't think people would be as hyped or as like this is like what I mean. I
Yeah,
think
that movie wouldn't be as good
it
without
wouldn't be as
Daniel
good.
Day Lewis. Yeah,
No, no. He definitely elevates it because I mean, literally everything that he's in, he does elevate. I don't think that it would hold up as well.
yeah.
Also, my next point is very slow paced, and like I say, don't have a problem with that. But the overall narrative and the story, I needed to find interesting, and I didn't. I didn't really find the whole thing interesting. And again,
You
like
know,
I say, it's been a few years. I know it's about oil. I know it's about like the American
Dream.
uh, yeah, the American Dream and all that stuff. But I just think it's like from what I remember, it's like a constant back and forth between him and Paul Dano.
So, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Eli, I think it
yeah. I
is
think so.
Eli. It's like a constant back and forth with him, and like he always just bitches him like every time. So like there's no stakes or there's nothing that like when they clash, it's always like one sided. Like Daniel Day Lewis's character, I think it is Daniel in that. I think he
Yeah,
always like comes out on top, and like especially by the end of it. Um,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
wasn't a fan of the ending. I didn't like it.
No, no, me. I heard like it's one of the best endings and like
No,
performances. I think performance wise, it's very good, but I think like as a whole, it's yeah, it's
you
just like
got
he
no.
gets killed by a bowling pin, doesn't he, or something?
Yes, he does. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I was never big on it. Yeah, especially the ending. But I think didn't he win the Oscar for best actor for that?
I would imagine so. I wouldn't put it
Yeah,
past
well,
him.
it was Daniel Day Lewis. He probably
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yeah, I say I don't really have much to say on that. I do think that it's not as amazing as like a lot of people have this as that as like a 10 out of 10,
yeah,
and people have a lot of them on their favorites. It wouldn't touch like my favorites, but that doesn't mean that it's not a bad movie. Yeah, I think it was a great movie, but it's not one I would rewatch anytime soon.
yeah. It's like what I said. It's not and a bit like Space Odyssey. It's not one of those where if someone was to argue that it was their favourite, I would listen and I'd be like, okay, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
It's not one of those where I'm like, no, bollocks, fuck this film. It's nothing like that. Because like my
yeah.
favourite from Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights, and I think it always will be. That
All
one,
right.
that is incredible. That one is that's like almost
So,
perfect.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think the only thing I would disagree on is that I think it's if I were to say it's appropriately rated, I think I would say that, but I can understand your points because one of my main takeaways from that film was that it was incredibly shot.
Yeah,
The silhouette shot of the oil in the background was one of those where it really that sticks with me quite well because I think that's how a shot how they set up that shot was insane. So
yeah.
these are for mine knuckles cracked if you couldn't hear it. These next three, I don't want to say controversial. Well, yeah, fuck it, they are controversial. The other next film I'm picking as an overrated, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is
Sam would give
vastly
you shit for that.
good. Bring it on. I would argue this. The film is. Everyone says how incredible the story is. I've seen better movies with a story about a daughter-mother relationship, a husband and wife relationship. Yeah, I can understand the message behind it, but one of the reasons why I think this film's so overrated, it took home so many Oscars, and in my opinion, it did not deserve to win Best Picture, did not deserve to win. Jamie Lee Curtis did not deserve to win that
Yeah,
Oscar. It won, I think it won editing. I think it won cinematography. It won
I
a
know it. I
lot
don't.
at the. Yeah, please do fact check me. It is vastly overrated. It did not deserve to win that many awards. I'm not saying the film is terrible. There are certain elements. The action sequences are great. It is funny, but the message the second act drags really bad. Um, her going to these different universes, and the third act it drags. It ends like six times before the film
Yeah,
actually ends, and it's like we get to your point, you know. Yeah, yeah. The first I will admit the first 45 minutes I was feeling it. I thought, wow, this is gonna be good. And then we go to the time the time traveling and the different universes, and that's when it's completely lost me. But that doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and say it's a terrible movie. I just don't think that holds up, and it didn't deserve the the accolades that it got from it.
7 Oscars.
7 Oscars.
Yeah,
I mean, I was better. I mean, You got the Oscars on there. What was it up against? Like these best films of that year?
Oh gosh, now you're asking me.
Sorry, I know.
So, sorry, I'll quickly just run through the seven they did win. It
Yeah,
got Best Picture, Best Director,
yeah.
Best Actress Michelle Yeoh, Best
She
Supporting
deserved
Actor,
it.
short round,
Yeah,
Best Supporting Actress Jamie Lee Curtis, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Film Editing.
it's film editing my ass. Sorry. Nah, it's. I mean, what was the other one?
Oh gosh,
The
I'll
one
click off
before
now.
that. Oh, I don't know.
Director, Best Director.
Best director.
Yeah.
The same year that All Quiet on the Western Front came out, that director deserved it. I'm sure he was nominated. But while you're looking, the Michelle Yeoh, I can understand that she was really good in the movie, and I wouldn't argue that point. I think out of everybody that was nominated, she probably was the one who deserved it. But the others, I mean, the short round, I don't really understand, you know. And yeah, his speech was sentimental, saying, "Mom, I'm bringing Oscar home." Yeah, whatever. But it's, I think I was more annoyed at the fact they took home Best Picture and director. Yeah, the editing I'm not bothered on, but it just I think that's my main point of this is why I think it's so overrated. It's not the fact that I'm sitting here saying it's a bad movie. It's actually not. It's not terrible. It's okay. I think I gave it a 6, which might be low to certain people, which is fine. But that means it to me a 6 is it's okay. It's decent. You know, you can have fun with it. But to then put those accolades on top of it, that's when I'm thinking, no, hell no, people. We need to take a step back here. If you really look at it, it is not really original. We've had the same formula before, but it's just done in a different way. And yet people could argue, well, it's nice to do a different thing in a different way. But then when it takes you nearly over 2 hours to get your message across and end your film 6 times before actually ending it, that's when we have a problem. All right.
Fair enough. So
I
the
feel so
the
much better.
films, the films that he was up against, Banshees of Inisherin, The Fabelmans, Tar, Triangle of Sadness.
How how did it beat Banshees of Inisherin?
They're
Even
Fabelmans.
Tar and the Fable. You know what? No, people like the Fablemans. I really
Ah,
enjoyed the
yeah,
Fablemans. Yeah, I think we saw that together, didn't
yeah,
we?
yeah.
I was
I
really
enjoyed.
enjoyed that. But in terms of winning the Oscar, I wouldn't say it's like Oscar worthy. But like, I mean, it beat Banshees of Inisherin and Tar.
Yeah,
I mean,
beat Top Gun Maverick in film editing.
fuck.
Yeah. Trying to see what else it beat.
I mean, a side story of that I was watching I mean, I didn't stay up to watch the Oscars that year. I watched the highlights the next day, and I sat down. I was watching it on the TV, and my partner was Kate was sat next to me, and I was shouting at the TV, and she was like, "It doesn't matter," and I was like, "Yes, it does. It doesn't deserve it."
So
So
that list I've read was sorry, best directing. This is best picture. So it got nominees: All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Banshees, Elvis, Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking.
I can't believe it. It beat them. There's
Yeah,
5 better movies in there. I didn't see Avatar: The Way of Water, so I
no,
can't
no way.
comment on that one.
No. All
Tar
Quiet on the Western Front.
All Quiet on
That's
the Western Front is a 10 It's a masterpiece.
yeah,
It's heartbreaking. That deserved to take a lot more than what it did. Top
yeah,
Gun Maverick, I wouldn't have argued against that if it won. I mean, everyone says it's a good nostalgia legacy. It's an incredible legacy sequel.
yeah.
I mean, how it beat them, it baffles me. Really, I'm going to quote a good friend of mine. The mind boggles. It really does. You know what? I'm going to leave that there
Yeah,
because I think that just says enough.
yeah.
So I'll end by saying this about Everything Everywhere All at Once. One, it's a long fucking title as well. Is the fact that it's not a terrible movie. That is not what I'm saying. But when you've just named a lot of films it was up against and a lot of the accolades that it took home, does not deserve it. It didn't deserve it, in my opinion.
I think
That's
that's
why I think.
actually held up in your title of overrated.
Thank you.
So,
There you go.
so yeah. Again, I'll have to rewatch that again because I remember thinking a bit like you. I was a bit like, "This is okay," but I'm like, because Sam I think got emotional. I remember him saying to me, he got emotional. I'm going to leave it there because I can see you're seething, and we'll have to get him on, and we'll have to just have a discussion about it because I think that'll be really good. So,
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch that first. So, go on, man. I need a
yeah,
drink for that one.
definitely, yeah. So my fourth one, this will be a breeze, like walk through. To be honest, Fantasia.
Never seen it.
No, okay. So again, no plot. It's kind of boring to be honest. I struggle to stay awake. But the only positive things is the visuals and the music. Like I say, it's no plot. It's Mickey Mouse. You know that one.
Yeah.
It's like I bet it's great on drugs. I don't endorse drugs, but I'd imagine you'd be like, whoa, wow, like this looks sick. But like when you sat down and you're watching it, you're just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. All right. It's a bit like Okay, and it's quite long, to be honest. It feels really long, but I think it's only about an hour and 40, but or it could be less. I don't know. But that's got really high rating on IMDb for what I rated it. So I
Oh
gave it a
wow.
6 or a 5, I think. I think it's like 7.7 IMDb, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
it might be. Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, that's a quick breeze through for mine because I remember watching that thinking like I'm bored. And that's the worst thing you can do, in my opinion, when you're watching something. It's like if you're bored, you know, because you might think the film's not good, but as long as you're entertained, like
Hmm.
perfect example, The Room. The Room is absolutely fucking shocking, but entertaining as fuck.
Yeah.
It's great.
Right. You ready?
I think so.
No Country for Old Men.
Okay. All right.
Overrated. I watched it last night in preparation for this, and I wanted my opinion to change.
Yeah.
I still think it's one of the most overrated movies, and no, actually, I got another one as well. I've seen it, and again, it's a 5 out of 10 for me.
Is it just because you didn't like Josh Brolin being killed off screen? Is that it?
That's one of my problems, and it still is one of my problems because we go through the whole fucking movie
Yeah.
of him escaping Javier Bardem, only to then, in fact, rewatching it, I don't think no, he did get killed by Javier Bardem. Yeah, that was one of my main problems, but also rewatching it, Josh Brolin's character is not interesting. He's annoying. He's a nasty guy. Yeah, you can tell easily sit here and tell me that it's part of the part of the film. He wants you to, these are bad people, whatever. But when you're sitting there watching a film, you want to kind of care about your protagonist. And I think he makes some really stupid decisions. And I think that's not necessarily Josh Brolin's fault. I think that's down to poor writing. Like the fact that he's in the nine, he's just lying there and he goes, all right. And just gets up and then goes back to give the guy water, who he probably looked at thinking, you're probably going to be dead in 2 hours, but I'll come back and bring you water anyway. And then has the Mexican gangsters come and chase him. It's just like, and it was stupid decision after stupid decision. And he always thought that he was one step ahead, but he wasn't. Javier Bardem, who while rewatching, he is in brilliant in the movie. I will not take that away from him. He is intimidating as
Yeah.
shit, and he's. I know I read the article you told me to look at that a psychologist looked at what a psychopath looked like, and he portrays one perfectly.
To the T.
I will not take that away from him. He is by far the best part of the movie. Everything else on top of it, Tommy Lee Jones's character, just I know the story's morally like he's not with the times. He's got to learn to. Everything's changed. Everything's not the way it would be. Include the title "No Country for Old Men" and
Yeah.
seeing how the way the world is now. Yeah, I get the message behind his character, but I kind of felt his character didn't need to be in the movie. He was just like the cop, the sheriff that was just chased like
Well, it's his
at the go.
county, isn't he? So
Yeah,
yeah.
his account. Yeah, I get it's his county, and he's got to go and check everything out. But it's sort of like we move on with Josh Brolin, and then he comes and catches up, and then it's like, okay, we already know all this, and then like the exposition scene of, I think this was a bad shootout here, Sheriff. No shit, Sherlock. Um, well, look at it. Look at this bit, Sheriff. Yeah, what do you think? Oh, okay, I definitely think so. The dialogue, the back and forth, and then figuring things out. It's like I didn't feel like he needed to be in it because we know this. We know who's broke that lock. It didn't necessarily feel like his character needed really to be in the movie. But I know it's his county and I know it's his perspective. There's a few scenes that I will give credit to. The hotel scene was intense, but that's probably linked into why I wanted the third act fight, because it set that up perfectly for their little showdown, and they had the phone message saying, "I'm going to come and kill your wife." You have the motivation to go back at Javier Bardem to have this final
Mm.
encounter, and the fact that it doesn't give us that, and they go, "Oh, we wanted to do something things different," and it might work. It didn't work for me, and I shriveled up in my seat thinking, "It's just disappointing, man."
Well, when Josh
It's just,
Brolin's character got killed.
yeah. And then you literally have another 20 minutes of Javier Bardem being an absolute horrible person. I'm pretty sure he kills his wife, even though it's off screen. And then you have the take from Tommy Lee Jones's character going off about some freaking dream he had, and he's like, "Then I woke up," and then we just cut to black, and I'm just like, "There's nothing gets revealed, nothing gets titled, nothing comes together at the end. It just sort of like abruptly
Well,
ends."
so I
And then
think it's supposed to be bleak, isn't it? It's like No Country for Old Men is actually the title. So I think like the ending to that is supposed to be like he's he's dreaming for something else, and then he's like, and then I woke up and like here
I
I
was just
am,
dreaming to
over
go
the hill.
ride with his dad on his horse, and then wakes up and
It's
then
like
realizes he lives
reminiscent,
in a
yeah,
shitty.
yeah,
Again,
yeah.
I understood the metaphor for it, but it just didn't resonate with me. I just don't think it worked for what they were doing for the rest of the film. It felt like two completely different stories.
The one thing I will give you that the bit with Woody Harrelson.
Wilson, yeah,
Uh,
could have been cut. Could have been
yeah,
cut
yeah,
out.
yeah. That was a bit daft. Like I don't
Yeah,
know why they included that bit in because you think, oh, someone's gonna match him, and
yeah.
then like he gets bitched on the most. It's like, okay, that was a bit
And he kind of dies
weird.
off screen slightly. You see him shooting, but then he's just makes a weird, really weird noise, which I've rewound twice just for my own shits and giggles. And it just didn't work for me. I just thought, really, like, and then after he died, I thought he did not need to be in this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And also his wife, she just annoys me.
Josh Brolin.
I get no, his wife, yeah, Josh Brolin's wife, yeah. I just think I think people say how there's really good characters and people can do a thesis on certain individuals and their morals and their psyche. I'm thinking, no, you can't. I took nothing away from it, but the thing is though, I did try to like it. Didn't want to put it on the list, but after rewatching it, I feel like my points now are more valid. They've had more meat to it now.
So what did you give
So
it out of 10?
a 5
5.
because I do, yeah,
Wow.
5 because Josh Brolin, Josh Brolin, fuck Josh Brolin. Sorry, Javier Bardem
Say it to his
is.
face.
I wouldn't. I'd probably give him a hug. Yeah, the one thing, the positives I got from the film are it's beautifully shot. I do like the fact there's no music in it. The other 2 points were just for Javier Bardem's performance. So that was literally why it's a 5. I think I didn't like anything else of it, and I do think. I mean, again, that took a lot of did that take a lot of Oscars?
Fact
But
checker.
it's. I mean, if people are watching this, please let me know how wrong I am. I always like to be told I'm wrong because I like to hear other people's thoughts on this, but I just find it very interesting how this is. I mean, this is an 8.2 on IMDb. Even higher than Vertigo. Funny enough. I just don't see. I mean, one of the titles for it is contemporary western, and I felt, honest personally, I felt nothing contemporary about it. I felt the psychological drama part of things because it's just a selfish man takes his money and he's thinking, "Fuck this! This is mine. I found it." It's a simple
Yeah.
story,
Simple
but it's just
story. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, did you get any Oscars?
Yeah, so on here it says they won Best Picture in 2008, Best Supporting Actor, Javier Bardem, Best
Deserved?
Director, Coen Brothers, and Adapted
Nope.
Screenplay, Coen Brothers.
Yeah, because I know it's based on a book, I
Yeah,
believe.
pretty
I
sure it is.
think directors and pictures is a definite no. You have to see
2008,
what.
wouldn't that be Dark Knight? I swear Dark
I
Knight.
was just about to say, if you got 2 seconds, you could just see the best pictures, see who's
Yeah.
there. I'm intrigued now. This is the whole point of Overrated. This is validating my point.
Acting in a lead role, the winner was Daniel Day-Lewis, There Will Be Blood.
Oh wow, happy that.
Also, Viggo Mortensen was nominated. Eastern
Eastern
Promises.
Promises. Yeah,
Supporting role, Javier Bardem won.
yeah.
Cinematography, There Will Be Blood.
Oh wow, okay, fair
That was
enough.
up for it. That was up.
Funny enough, I said that earlier. I said the film was brilliantly shot. So yeah, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Directing, yeah. So for the directors, not Best Picture, there was Paul Thomas Anderson for There Will Be Blood, Tony Gilroy for Michael Clayton.
Listen,
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
never heard of it.
Juno, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Never
Nope,
heard of
never
that.
heard of it.
So for Best Picture, then there's No Country for Old Men, which won. Atonement,
Okay.
Juno, Michael Clayton, There Will Be Blood. So it actually beat There Will Be Blood for the Best Picture.
If I had to give it out of them, I'd probably give it to Juno. No, I'm joking. Yeah, there will be blood.
So my last one, again, breeze through this one. The Meaning of Life.
Never seen it.
Terry Gilliam, Monty Python. You've watched Monty Python, haven't you? Watched
No, I've
Holy
never seen
Grail,
any
and
of them.
you
No,
never watched Holy Grail and Life of Brian.
no. I've been criticised by this. The fact that I haven't watched them.
I watched those two. They're great. This one's wank, to be honest.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, fair enough.
and that's really highly rated. I think it's like 7.5 on IMDb, and 3.9 on Letterboxd, something like that. So
Oh,
highly
wow.
rated. See, I put this by far the worst of the lot. It's not funny. It felt slapsticky, and a low budget comedy. And when you watch the other two, they're just like polar opposites to this. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Like in my opinion, what was different because they had all the same guys. Everyone was there. Obviously, they have like different scenarios, and the Holy Grail, they're literally set in like medieval times. Life of Brian set in um, like Moses era, Jesus
Yeah, yeah,
era,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of, and like they have fun. But whereas this one, it was like segments. It felt like a bit like movie 43, to be honest with you, because it felt like there's a part where there's a fat man, and they're like laughing at him because he's fat, and it's like, well, this isn't funny.
I won't find that funny.
No. And he's like really like balloonish, like big, and he explodes because he eats so much, and it's like
No.
you're better than
See,
this. Like that's not funny.
we're all good. I'm all for slapstick comedy, but that shit just wouldn't do well with me.
Yeah, it just didn't sit with me. It's like, and it's absurd, and I ain't really got much to say about this, to be honest, because it's just from the other two that I've watched, it felt so flat, and I was actually like getting annoyed. I was getting annoyed. I was like, I just want this to end now because
It
it's
doesn't
really
bode well when
starting
you
to
get
get
annoyed
me.
by a film.
Yeah, because I wasn't laughing. But I don't think there was anything that I actually chuckled at in this one.
All
And it's
right.
one of those where, where normally I'd be like, okay, I didn't like that. In a few years' time, I'll give it another watch.
Mm.
But I have no intention to watch this again.
Ready for this one? I know you're not going to like this. 2011's Drive with Ryan Gosling is one of the most overrated movies I have ever seen in my life. I
I'm
gave
gonna
it a
go make a
5.
sandwich or something.
I gave it a 5 out of 10.
A five? How's
It,
that a five? How's
it's
that a five?
right. The first, I'm going to give you the positives. The first 10 minutes are solid, and overall, it's visually stunning. There are some beautiful shots. The cinematography in this film, if cinematography alone is 10 out of 10, right? It's genuinely a gorgeous film to look at. I am not a fan of Gosling's character. His purpose and motives are weak narrative wise, and we've seen many, many times before. That could be said for the rest of the film story. It is so predictable. And after the first 40 minutes, I could easily see the direction we were going in. And also, there were so many goddamn exposition scenes that just really did my head in. I'm going to read out my whole thing before you, then we can debate this. There's long, awkward stares as a mean of communication. He's just there, like, do you want to come in? And she's like, yeah. It's just get to the point, you know. You know, I was not a fan of that. I was also not a fan of the over the top violence in the last 30 minutes. It felt completely unwarranted. It's felt so out of place for what it was originally going for, which is a half-hearted family drama. And I honestly believe that because of the
Half-hearted
neon
family.
style, yeah, it's a because then he falls in love with the neighbor, and then he sort of takes on the role of the stepdad, and the stepdad comes out of jail, and all of a sudden that's all played into it. Now there's this three-way like love triangle.
I don't think he was
Ju-
going for a half-hearted family drama. Because literally the first 10 minutes he's there on a heist.
That's why I said half-hearted,
Not
because
half-hearted, that'd be like fucking cheaper by the dozen or something.
it sort of made an attempt to make a family drama out of it. When, like you said, the first 10 minutes are amazing. I wanted that movie. I wanted him to be the driver to pick up these people who are doing bad shit around LA. I wanted that movie. And instead, for the rest of them, for the next 40 minutes of the movie, I got this freaking half-hearted family drama with him who randomly falls in love with this girl who just by a couple of looks. He then goes on a couple of dates, starts developing this relationship with this kid, and all of a sudden this nasty druggy daddy comes out of freaking prison, and all of a sudden everything's ruined. And there's this awkward tension. She obviously is in love with Ryan Gosling, but she wants to make this work for the sake of her son. There's obviously naturally he's got some debts because he's come out of jail. He's obviously had protection money. It's just beat after beat. We've seen this before, and I've seen it done better. And to finish off my point, I was going to say, honestly, believe because of the neon style and its groovy soundtrack, which really also annoyed me, it glosses over the many cracks.
What, the soundtrack annoyed you?
The soundtrack annoyed the hell out of me. It's like, bow, bow. It's just like,
It's like
oh, it's like the Challenger soundtrack.
neo noir. I think it suits it really well. I've got, you know what? I like this film so much, right? I've got two copies, right? I got one which is got a different soundtrack, but you might like it. It's got Biffy Clyro and Bring Me the Horizon and all that stuff.
Fuck me,
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Let's go.
And then I got the 4K one, which didn't have it on, which is a bit of a letdown. But I digress. I will have to pause on that one because that moving along. Cause that was your last pick, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
So underrated films. Drive.
Fuck off.
Nope, that is on my list here.
Fucking underrated.
It is
It's got
underrated
7.8 on the IMDb. How can you say it's underrated?
because it should be higher. I think it should
Everyone
be higher than
fucking
that.
loves this movie.
No, you don't. But you don't, do you?
But every fucking loves this movie, and I'm thinking, can not people just see the obvious cracks? And there's the same subplots that we've seen 100 times before.
What other ones? Which ones are you referring
So
to?
you got the family drama. You got Bryan Cranston's character who is
Amazing.
this.
I
Yeah,
so
I'm not saying he's bad. And listen, I'm not saying he's bad in the movie. What I'm saying is that his story has been done a different times before and done better. He is, of course, he's the guy who's like the bullshitter who's saying, "Oh, I can make this amount of money if you just give me this." He loans off a freaking mob boss, so you just know he's the fault in the chink in Ryan Gosling's armor. We've seen it before, and we knew exactly how everything was going to end up with the dad. We knew he was going to get killed off. We knew once he admitted that he got beaten up and he was left by those bald dudes. He knew he owed money, and yeah, the only thing I'll give the film credit for is that I had an inkling that Ron Perlman's character has something to do with it, his death, and it
Nina.
turns out it was a fake hit to try and actually get the money from this other mob boss.
It's happened
I
as a plan from the Philadelphia family.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it done
But the
before.
thing is, there's a theme here, which they say in the story. The hidden theme is bad luck because Nina, Albert Brooks' character mentions it. He says, "What's his name? Rose." He mentions it. He says, "Shannon's got bad luck."
Bad luck.
Right.
Yep.
So he has
That's one of
bad
the
luck.
exposition scenes. That's one of the exposition scenes. I didn't
Yeah.
need to know that. It's obvious that he had bad luck. If you got the limp, it was implied by Ron Perlman saying, "Oh, you got a leg. I paid my debt." So you know that he hasn't exactly had the best of luck. It was implied by that scene. We didn't need him to go to Ryan Gosling going, "Did you know something? That your mate here, he's got a lot of bad luck."
Well, who knows? He fucking fixes cars. He might fucking like hurt his leg or something.
It treats the audience as stupid.
I don't think so.
Go on, yeah. I'm gonna let you talk.
Uh,
Sorry,
yeah,
I've
because
jumped into
I don't want to hear your shit, man. This just like this is like being Bonnie Blue's neighbour, man. I just don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear this bollocks. Right. So neo noir visuals oozes with style. The use of the cinematography, like you said, don't you fucking frown at me. You just said that. Right?
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, I saw your face. So, but yeah, did you say you have a problem with this being like a slow burn? You
My
didn't, did
problem
you?
was no, it didn't. The problem
No.
was is that I was expecting the first 10 minutes to be this really good, interesting driver who gets burglars and bad people out of a quick way, and his driving skills are impeccable. And then for the next 40 minutes, we have this freaking half-hearted family drama.
All right, so I put allows time for character development and can buy into the driver's emotional driven motivation to want to settle with Irene.
What character development does the guy have apart from falling in love and he wanted some ass? Seriously, he had
Because
no
he's a loner and like, he wants to settle. You know, and like literally the neighbours Irene and the daughter, and I can buy into it's like the awkward, like they want to be together, but obviously she's got the dad is in jail, you know, and then they start to go on, but then his dad comes in and fucks shit up.
that, that, that doesn't mean
But,
that
but,
he's got any good character development. It's just the fact that he kind of falls in love with someone, but then the dad's come out and he's like, "Oh shit, my dreams are shattered now. I'm just going to be
no,
a moody
because
bitch for the next 10 minutes."
he's still there in their life, you know, in the background, and then by the end, that scene in the elevator when like, he kisses her passionately, yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's devastating. 'Cause that's like the last bit of like normality that she sees in him before he totally has to fuck shit up, man. Stomping that guy's head in the elevator.
Do
That's
you know
it.
something, Jack? I like that point. I do. I genuinely like that point. That whole metaphor, this is who I am before shit goes down. I get that. That's a good point. I will give
Yeah.
you props for that. But everything else you just said about the whole family drama thing. So the one thing I want to point out is that if he loved the woman so much, why is he decided to help the dad to get out of debt so then he can move on with his family? If he really loves the woman, do you know what I mean? It didn't make sense to me. I was watching it thinking, how is this helping him? Because he's going to help this guy get out of debt so then he can move on and sort things right out with his family. So then he'll have next to no chance with the woman.
I
Don't
think that
say it's good character. That's his character. You get nothing from him for about a half an hour, just minimal dialogue, and all we got is
yeah, just
facial expressions.
yeah. Well, just because there's minimal dialogue and like this film is a lot of like you say the facial expressions and like the pauses. That's like their version of the dialogue because you're reading their facial clues and all that stuff. I mean, bloody John Wick hardly says shit, man. And you love John Wick.
Actions be like louder than
Yeah,
words.
I want John Wick to shoot shit, man. That's it. This film has that, and this
That's a
film,
completely different film. That's a straight up action movie. We know he's a fucking assassin. We know he's gonna fuck shit up.
yeah,
He's
well,
just he is supposed to be a driver who gives people 5 minute windows, 1 minute after he's gone, 1 minute before, and then that 5 minutes I'm yours. He's structured so he isn't a tough guy. He's just like, look, I am the driver. You get your shit done. You get in this car, or I'm gone. He doesn't once give me any inclination that he's a tough guy that he can deal with his shit. And in
dude,
the
mate,
last
that guy
30,
when that guy comes into the bloody bar and he's like trying to get him for a job, and he's like, "Mate, get the fuck out before I
yeah,
destroy you."
that's a threat. That I didn't see anything
But did
physical that
you,
he's gonna go.
you
It's a,
see him?
it was
It
a
came
more of
to
a
the
threat.
bloody guy's head in.
No, yeah, but then when it comes to the last 30 minutes, and all of a sudden he's in that freaking hotel room, and he's like literally on top of that woman, saying, "What the hell's
That's
going on here?" And then
yeah.
all of a sudden he can take two people out in the space of two in a minute, and think it didn't. I didn't buy it. It felt like two completely different characters.
Nah, that's I thought you'd like that scene. That scene's incredible, man.
No,
That scene,
I
the
thought
hotel scene.
when she got her head exploded, I just sat there. I was like, "Really?"
It's the
Like,
brutal world they live in, man. The world building that is excellent.
I accept that, but then the fact that if we had everything beforehand, okay, when Oscar Isaac's the dad dies, when he gets shot a few times, yeah, you see a couple of blood. I expect that from getting shot. Then to see the woman's freaking face explode, it felt like all of a sudden I was in a Tarantino third act. Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
just felt completely different, and I didn't think it earned it.
No, I think I think that shows like, but in this sort of film where, like you say, you thought it was going for a family drama. In terms of that scene being like totally like you're like, whoa, that threw me off. I think that's what makes it grounded, and that's what it subverts your expectations because, and that might be down to the marketing side of it. Maybe people are
Yeah.
thinking, this is going to be just an all-out action film about a driver who does jobs or whatever. So maybe there's a problem with that. I don't know. But
Do
just
you know
this
what I
stuff.
think it might go on? Sorry, mate. I was going. Sorry.
No, no, go on.
I think what made this movie a bit higher for me was if they had a scene before he goes out in the first opening couple of minutes when he glances at the woman to maybe show that there might be something there, and then goes out for the drive and then does what he's got to do, then comes back and then it's established that he does have some sort of feelings for this lady. I would have accepted that a bit more. But the fact that we get an opening 10-minute sequence of him escaping the police and doing this this really cool driving stuff, and then all of a sudden to then not have that for the next 40 minutes of your movie in an hour and a half film as well. I think it was poor. I think it's poor writing.
Well, I think
Why
actually,
do you set people up for that and then you give us something completely different?
he sees her in the supermarket, and he's actually trying to avoid her because he doesn't want her getting involved in his stuff. So he goes to fix a car, and then like he almost gets like put in this position, and so like that's where their relationship blossoms and grows from there.
Fair enough. Look, yeah, I don't agree with your points. That's fair enough. That's your perspective. That just doesn't do nothing for me. I just didn't think it almost. I was into the relationship for about 5 minutes, and then I just thought, I don't know what movie we're getting here now. I was waiting for Brian Cranston to say, "Look, I got another job. You ready?" And then him trying to balance the life of him being with this woman and trying to do that. And then, in fact, it would have been cooler if then the dad had to sort the debt out and to get the driver. It turns out it was him, and then they see each other going, "Shit." Would have been a lot better, and it would have elevated the tension. It would have elevated the three-way love triangle that they were going for.
Hmm.
But that was mine. I would have liked to have seen with the movie we got. It just didn't hit the bar for me. So when people say this is one of the best movies of this century, I just 2010 onwards, I strongly disagree.
Um, hmm.
Go on, what's your final? That's my final note on the film. Go on,
Yeah,
what's
so
your
some of the
final note?
pluses I've got then. So, but relatively straightforward story, but it's bulked up with the themes of isolation and the need of wanting, which I think it does. I think he does do that aspect well. Like he literally lives on his own, and he hardly talks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and
I'm
so
listening to you now. I'll finish talking.
so I think, I mean, personally, I think it conveys it well, where the need of wanting, because, like I mentioned, that part in the supermarket, he's listening, he wants to get involved, and then when he does get involved, it's almost like he feels like he shouldn't be because of like what the lifestyle he leads.
Mm.
The next point that I got is, well, we've already mentioned this: the violence is realistic and brutal. Characters are great. Shannon is a likable father figure role. Even Rose, which is Albert Brooks, his character is sympathetic to a degree and shows empathy and regret for his actions. And I think for a mob boss, like, well, this gangster like role, I think that this could be one of the best like portrayals of a gangster because I actually, side note, just interrupt myself again. When I first watched this, I was like, oh, I hated him because obviously, me and Brian Cranston, whatever.
Yep.
So I was
Yep.
like, nah, nope, no thanks. But then when I watched it again, he is like authority. Like everyone shuts up and listens to him. But in the same time, he is fair. Like he literally is fair. He gives everybody a chance. He gives Brian Cranston's character Shannon the money to finance the car business that he wants to start up. And the whole reason why it all unravels is down to this job that his partner like fucked up, and so like he has to like sort it all out. And you can tell that he doesn't want to kill Shannon. And by the end of it, when he's like, he does that, and he's like, it's done, it's over. It's like it shows like remorse, and I actually
Mm.
quite like that.
Yeah,
You know,
fair enough. Yeah, fair
yeah,
enough. I get your point what you're saying. I just maybe it's just me, but I just didn't particularly like. It wasn't the fact that he did that. Like nothing majorly a problem with the terms of the character. Maybe I thought to be fair, your famous phrase petty. The actual the wrist slit as well. I think the blood is very very over the top.
I think it's realistic, man. You get shot with a
Okay,
fucking
fair enough.
shotgun that range, your head's going off.
I'm not about the shotgun. I'm about Brian Cranston's death.
Oh,
I didn't. I thought
that's bloody, man. That's a fucking artery. That's a vein. What do you mean? There wasn't enough blood for you.
there's too much.
Too much. Too much. It's an artery, for
I
Christ's
thought,
sake.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was just a bit over the
You've been
top.
watching too many action films where they get shot and a little bit comes out. That is a fucking vein. That's an artery, man. You're getting cut up from there. It ain't like a little butterfly to take this shit together. You're
Listen,
done.
you're obviously still not over his death in that movie because you just love Bryan
I
Cranston.
love Bryan Cranston, yeah, and this is like one of the most horrible deaths that I ever had to witness. Obviously I wasn't crying, but I was like, I don't want to see this again, and I had to watch it.
So can I finish my little point on the drive? I
Yes.
actually don't like Bryan Cranston's character in the movie.
Why? What's he done? What's he done?
Nothing against Bryan Cranston. I just think his character's a twat.
Why is he a twat?
I just because he's the typical guy where he puts other people in danger just to suit himself. He's a selfish prick. Nothing against his performance. I just don't like
Yeah.
his character. He's a very selfish prick, and he put Bryan Cranston. He put Ryan Gosling's character in more problems than solutions. You know, he's saying you could be the driver for this. You're going to get involved in this, and if things go tits up, he's probably going to leave him to die. Basically, I just
Yeah,
didn't particularly like his character.
that's
Listen,
fair.
we'll finish this though because we're going on for quite a while
Yeah,
about this.
I'm almost done. I think that is a fair point, but I think you can tell that the driver and him do actually get along because he wanted a job, he took him on, and even to say, yeah, like laughingly, he's like, I'm like, undercutting him, but
Underpaying him?
yeah. But literally, if a bloke comes up to you like randomly and says he wants a job, you can do that. But anyway, that's just whatever. But I wouldn't go as far and say like that's the reason why I don't like this character. I think he shows enough compassion and he's rooting for the driver as well. Like he literally like fucking
I'm not
wingman.
saying he doesn't care for him. I'm just saying that his
Yeah, the
character himself
character.
is.
Okay, yeah, it's the character. Yeah, it is. All right, that enough for me. Like I totally disagree with that.
Please
Um,
let us know what you think of Drive. If you
yeah,
like it, if you don't, if you never watched it, watch it. Let us know what you think. What side are you on? Are you on underrated or are you on overrated? So that was your first underrated, right? I'm going to quickly gloss over. I quickly gloss over two of mine because I just quick brief about them and then I'll just move on.
yeah.
So my first underrated movie is I nearly said the wrong one then.
Drive.
I've got no, Malignant. Have you ever seen that? Directed by James Wan.
No.
If you like 80s kung fu, if you like 80s slasher horror, if you like modern body horror, this is the movie for you. This movie is just batshit crazy, and it's 6.2 on IMDb.
No.
It's such an unfair score. It's got a bit of everything. There's a good twist that I'm not gonna lie. We talk about the no control man and plot twists and everything and etc. Yeah, you probably could see the twist coming if you really think about it. Like if you're watching it thinking, you probably might figure it out quick. But that doesn't take away the fact of the choreography, the shot, the cinematography, the editing style in this film. So well done by James Wan, and the fact that it's only got 6.2 and it didn't make, I don't think it made its budget back.
Oh wow.
It's a crime, and I really highly rate this movie. I'm like, again, it's on my Blu-ray list. I'm gonna look for it. It's brilliant. So that was, if you've seen that, let me know what you think. My second one is Rain of Fire.
Oh yeah.
What a banger of a movie that no one talks about. A sequel. We should have got a sequel to that film. I mean, the cast, you got Christian Bale, you got Gerard Butler, Matthew McConaughey. This movie is
Dragon Hunters.
it oozes. I'm going to sound like such a modern kid at the minute. It oozes sauce. It has got so much going for it. It's like I say, it's like very
Yeah, apocalyptic London.
apocalyptic. Yeah,
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 Gotham years
apocalyptic London
with dragons.
with big dragons, and it's just, how did we never get a sequel to this film? Because it has a 6.2 rating on IMDb.
Damn, bloody hell.
I remember we watched this film on repeat growing up.
I remember.
I love this movie.
Yeah, I remember literally Matthew McConaughey's bit was like, "Whoa," and then
Yeah, it's incredible. And there's also the infamous cornfield scene. Do you remember it? When they got the big high vises on it and they're nicking the tomatoes and they can hear that dragon
oh, I
coming
think
round.
so. Yeah, so
Man,
ringing bells.
this scene's so intense.
Yeah,
Like,
I have to watch
so
that again.
good. I really want to watch that again. Again, I'm trying to look for the Blu-ray for it. So underrated. I'll let you use your next pick now.
So my one, I've got Death Proof, Tarantino.
Oh, that's on my look. Oh, I'll show you this after
Is
review.
it one of yours?
It's one of my. No, one of mine. I've got 17, believe it or not, but I just picked 5.
Shit.
And Death Proof was one of them, but I didn't tick it. But it
Okay.
is one of them.
Yeah. So obviously we're big Tarantino fans. I I love this film because of like it's a total change to like what he normally does. So his reason for making this film is for his love of movie drive-in theaters. So like they'd
Cool.
use late night showings for low budget films about action, sexy stuff, and all that sort of stuff. So it's called exploitation cinema. B movie,
Yeah.
um, cinema during the 70s, and this is like a homage to it. It's done fun. That doesn't take itself like very seriously at all. Um, Set pieces in this are incredible.
Yes, 100%.
Some of the stuff he gets these women like Zoe Bell to do, it's just like shit.
Insane.
Yeah. So like yeah, the characters silly, fun, bold, and it's fun to watch, and they all interact with each other. So
They
like
do.
it's sort of like his B movie film, but, like with Tarantino style. So you get the
Yeah.
dialogue, everything they say is actually interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and but in the same note, it doesn't take itself like seriously at all.
No.
So it's only about what, an hour and 40, 45.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is actually, I would love to do this eventually. We need to do a top 10 because he's got 10 movies,
Yeah.
Tarantino, because you'd be surprised where I've got this. I love Death Proof. I wouldn't disagree with anything you just said. I
Yeah.
think I disagree with Tarantino's own statement by saying it's his
Yes, it's his
worst
worst.
movie.
Yeah.
I think, mate, you've made one of the most underrated movies and then that driving movies that we've seen. Like you said, the stunts, the practicality, the fact the woman's on a freaking car bonnet going 80 odd miles an hour,
Yeah.
one false move and she's dead, more or less.
Yeah.
And there's a fun side story, but they actually closed the road off while filming a scene, and the car came up. So the car actually had to go veer off the road while Zoe Bell was on the bonnet of the car, and she nearly died. She nearly
Fucking
went
nuts.
flying off the thing. You
Yeah.
know, the dedication. Yeah, I love Death Proof. When people say, "Oh, it's his worst movie," I go, "No, shut your mouth." Jackie Brown's easily the worst movie for me.
Yeah,
But
well, yeah. Well, you'll have to do this one
different
episode for
time,
that one.
yeah, off
Yeah, yeah.
subject. No, don't disagree with that. It's a great pick.
Thank you. Am I doing another one?
So
You doing one?
I'll do one, and you probably definitely agree with me with this one.
Okay.
And you know what? A shout out you because you recommended it, Lake Mungo.
Yo, that's on mine as well.
Is it
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Yeah, I think this movie is the best found footage film made. It is scared the living shit out of me. Not gonna lie, I never felt so terrified after a film finished. I was,
Yeah, man,
and
it gets to you. And
it
side note,
really did.
a
Yeah,
tick for Sam because Sam recommended me, and I recommended it you. So yeah, fully
fair
recommend this
play.
one. Yeah,
Definitely Lake Mungo, people.
yeah.
It's so worth a watch.
So unique.
Um,
It's different. Sorry, I've just started to jump on your
no, no,
point.
no, no, because we're both excited to talk about it. You go first. Yeah.
It's a different approach to horror. It's not a jump, scary, loud horror. It messes with you. It literally gets in your head. It makes
Yes.
you feel uneasy, like you said.
Yes.
And this is so rewatchable.
Yeah.
Like I've watched it twice, and I'd watch it again, and I'd still find different
Yeah.
beats. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, like the mysterious ending, and like the whole. I don't want to spoil it because I want people to
No.
watch it, but like the whole,
I'll
like
just say, can I jump? Is it the final shot?
yeah,
Is it yeah.
the
I
final
never.
shot, yeah, and the video,
Yes. Oh my god, the video. I forgot about the video.
yeah,
I I freaked out after I
yeah,
had
yeah.
to pause the movie. I had to pause it.
Imagine you seeing that.
No, I would never. It's the themes, man. See, how would you react to that? No wonder the poor girl, did what she did.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's so many good things about Lake Mungo, and believe it or not, it's got where is it? Again, a
six.
6.2 on
Yeah,
IMDb.
that's unfair.
Bullshit. That I'm so we sound very biased here, and disagree with me if you want. I think that needs to be in the high sevens or 8.8.
Yeah.
It deserves to be so much higher than what it is. I don't think people watch it enough.
I think
It's one
people
of
get put off
the
because it's not a horror. It's not your typical horror where people just want something to run at the screen and make them jump and
like
like,
Paranormal Activity.
yeah, like that sort of stuff. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I do enjoy those films. With this one, it was so different, and it actually, like you said, it got in my head.
Yeah, it got in my
Yeah,
head after
I can,
I sat on that film for a few days.
yeah. I remember watching that early in the morning, like about 2 in the morning. By the time I finished, yeah, I was thinking, fucking,
I,
oh,
I was finishing the film off, and let's say my partner went to bed. I was in the living room, and she turned the lights off. I was watching the last 20 minutes, and when it
yeah,
finished, I was just like, I don't want to look in the darkness.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't. If film psychologically gets in there, and gets under your skin. There's
yeah.
not many movies that do that for me. There's a handful. But yeah, Lake Mungo is phenomenal. I'll gloss over mine very quickly because I think I can understand. I think people are finally seeing the recognition it deserves. So when before recording, I double checked. It's actually now up at a 7.1. Babylon from 2023.
I was really close to putting that in there.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think a film about cinema with these characters are excellent. Brad Pitt is phenomenal. Margot Robbie is phenomenal. Spanish actor, which I can never pronounce his name, he is phenomenal. The dialogue in this movie, the scenes where he's talking about legacy, and
Yeah,
he's
that scene.
saying
Yeah.
being on the screen that means something. As cinema lovers, these are the conversations that we love to hear because I think this movie, if we could show people why we love cinema so much, I would probably play those scenes and let them explain it.
Mm.
Sometimes it's very difficult to say why you love movies so much.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
hard to put it into words sometimes, but this movie lays it out perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's tragic, it's sad, it's funny. The first 35 minutes are just complete chaos, and it just shows what it was like back in the 20s and 30s in cinema. And the long shot take of Margot Robbie on the set, that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
shot, it's phenomenal from Damien Chazelle. It's my favorite movie of his, and he's got 4 for 4 for me.
Yeah.
That man is my. Everyone goes on Nolan. People don't talk about Damien Chazelle, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Babylon
Yeah.
is an excellent movie. It's 3 hours, but probably puts people off. But I think that when we saw it, I felt that runtime fly by.
Yeah. Like I say,
And I love the sorry, last bit. I love the montage at the end, the
oh,
tribute to
yeah,
cinema.
people, yeah, that's people's hit and miss with that, but I didn't mind it. But yeah, like I say, I don't mind like long films. I didn't feel like you feel it. I didn't feel it, and like you say, the character's story, everything, message behind it, yeah, brilliant. And that was really close to being on my list as well. So I'm
Oh,
glad you
good.
mentioned that. Yeah. My two then really quickly. I've got This Boy's Life '93. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio. When he was about 19, 18.
Is it De Niro as well?
De Niro, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's on my list.
Yeah, people say like people knew DiCaprio from Titanic. Mate,
Yeah,
this kid could act like really like from a young age. Like in this film, I think it really shows. So it's got great acting from everybody. DiCaprio shows like vulnerability, his journey of self-discovery, and his conflict with his stepfather, played by De Niro. It's captivating and brutal at times. And De Niro's portrayed as a stepfather. He's chilling, brutal, trolling, embodies everything from the charm, his capacity for cruelty. I think Sam said this. Like De Niro plays like the same character in every film he plays. Like
no,
totally.
no,
Like I do disagree with that. And like with this one,
stronger.
yeah, this one, like he proper. I know I love De Niro stuff, but he was a bastard in this. And also Ellie Barkin, her
Right.
performance is sympathetic and powerful. Caught between her son and her abusive like new husband. So yeah, it's a great coming of age story. It shows how insecurity can manifest to abuse.
All
And
right. Fair
yeah,
play.
but I think he didn't do that well commercially. So I think that's why people haven't really heard of this one, because like
Mm.
when Killers of the Flower Moon was coming out, people were saying, "Oh, it's the first time DiCaprio and De Niro have been together," and it's like, no, actually, they did '90s, and it's this one,
All right. All
yeah.
right.
So I recommend going it and
Yeah,
going
it's on
out.
my list. I have. Yeah, that film is on my list. I just haven't, like I say, I haven't
It's
got
on
around
Disney
to it.
Plus, I think. I
Is
want to
it?
say it is. I want to say it
I'll
is,
okay. I'll
but
find it. I'll
don't
have a
quote
look
me on it.
after this. So my last movie is there any honorable mentions that you want to just chuck out? Just names of films you don't have to go into it.
Uh, I'd say like Babylon. I don't really think on the top of my head because I had those five in particular.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
if you run through some,
Yeah, yeah. So before my last one, I've got I want to give a shout out to a work colleague Phil. He recommended this movie, and it's actually one of my favorite movies I've seen this year. It's called Appaloosa. It's a western.
mm,
With Viggo Mortensen and Ed Harris. A very slow burner western, very dramatic, excellent performances. My favorite Viggo Mortensen performance. That says a lot because obviously
oh wow,
Aragon.
bloody
Yeah,
hell.
he is excellent in this movie. And I do an episode for a different day. I'll gloss over very quickly. The Babadook. Yeah, we'll leave that one there. I think everyone hates that movie. I love that movie. Mass. If you, I
Oh,
think I
nice.
recommend it. I cried a
Yeah,
lot at the end of that movie. That film really went really got under my skin, and the performances and him set in one room is phenomenal. And just my last one, Van Helsing, because I
Van
fucking love that
Helsing.
movie. I love that movie.
Yeah,
6.1 on IMDb. That's criminal. So yeah, my last film is a film called Kajaki.
Jackie.
So Kajaki. It's a
Jackie.
brief prop is Kajaki Dam 2006. A company of young British soldiers encounter an unexpected, terrifying enemy, a dried out riverbed, and every understep the possibility of anti personnel mine, basically a mine, that could cost you your leg or your life. Don't know why the plot put that. I watched this with my fiance Kate, and we both loved this movie. It was very based on a true story. It's tense, an excellent thriller. The characters in this, you really care about them. You want them to make it out. because the film just goes problem after problem and how they resolve and get out of the situation. Because the one soldier's actually stood on it and he can't move, and it's literally just an hour and 48 minutes long of them trying to sort out how they could get it in, but also how they're going to get out. It's intense as hell. Performances are excellent. There's an actor called David Elliott. I recognise him in a few things, but the rest of them are more or less unknowns. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave it at that because I do think it's worth a watch. I don't want to spoil anything. It's based on true story. It's great. It's a great movie.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, you like your true stories, don't you?
I'm a sucker
Yeah,
for a
well,
true story. Yeah.
yes, my last
Right.
one. My last one
Yes.
is After Hours.
I
After
haven't
Hours,
seen that.
Martin Scorsese. Fun fact, actually, he was very down about King of Comedy. So he
All
was
right.
because it didn't do very well commercially. So he sort of lost his oomph and passion for film, and then this got offered to him. He directed it, and it brought his passion back. He loved directing
Good.
this film. So so with this film, honestly, it is really, really funny. It's so funny. The stuff that
Right.
this bloke just ends, like the situation he ends up in, like scene after scene, you're just like, fucking hell. It's just, and it's Griffin Dunn, who's in American Werewolf in London, his friend in that.
Okay.
He is an underrated actor himself, to be fair. He's in some really good stuff. But he like conveys his frustration, confusion, and vulnerability really well. Yeah, what I really like about this is just like a total 180 from what Scorsese normally does. It's a comedy, and it is really funny. It's one of my favourite films.
I
I'd
saw.
recommend going to see this. Why do you keep saying going to see this? You can't time travel in 1985. I would recommend watching this.
Watching this, yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, I'll definitely have to give that one a check. That's been on my watch list. 'Cause being a massive Scorsese fan, I haven't seen all of his films, and After Hours is definitely on there. And especially when I saw your rating, which is a 10 out of 10. You're 13, 10 out
13th.
of 10. Over 2,000 films and 13 10 out of 10s.
Mm.
Nitpicky bastard. So yeah, it's definitely on my watch list. That was really good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, yeah,
I have a little segment to finish off. It's 20 films. We won't go into too much detail. You're gonna say whether they're overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated. The first one of our 20 films, Midnight Cowboy. What would you deem that as? What would you deem it? Your three. Overrated, underrated, appropriately rated.
Midnight Cowboy on.
Midnight Cowboy with John Voight,
Yeah, John Voight,
Justin
Dustin
Hoffman.
Hoffman. Yeah,
It's got a 7.8 on IMDb.
underrated.
Underrated, fair play. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
So
pretty high than that.
it's everyone. To be fair, 7.8 is actually probably appropriate because a lot of the things what I take away from the film is the themes of loneliness and alienation
Yeah,
and the search for connection. And John Voight and Dustin Hoffman give probably career-defining performances.
yeah.
So yeah, that's fair enough because a lot of people. I was surprised. Believe it or not, this was on a lot of overrated lists.
It's really literally that's where they got the "I'm walking here." That's the
Yeah,
Dustin Hoffman off the
I'm
fly.
walking here.
Off the
I'm
fly.
walking here. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah. That's
Number
great.
two, Glory, Matthew Broderick.
Oh yeah, oh
Is
yeah.
would you go
That's
on?
underrated.
Underrated. That's
Yeah,
fair enough. That's got a 7.8. Do you think that should be a lot higher?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
watched
love
that
that movie.
actually. Yeah, great.
Again, a lot on overrated lists.
Underrated.
Yeah, they say that Miss Matthew Broderick was miscast.
You know what? I think he's very, very boring, to be honest, as an actor. But I think in this one he actually does highlight his, like, I wouldn't say range, I wouldn't go that far, but he actually did something.
When
He,
when you line up his filmography, you probably
yeah,
say that's his best performance. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think he was bad at all.
No,
Okay,
he was really
yes,
good.
he was probably overshadowed by Denzel Washington in
Yeah,
one of his first major roles. He was outstanding
yeah.
in that. So, all right, fair enough. So we both agree that it's underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah. So number three is Halloween, 1978. I think this is overrated.
You know what?
It's
I used to think it was. Um, I'm going to say it's appropriately rated. What is
okay,
it?
fair enough.
What's it rated?
It's 7.7.
Yeah, that's all right.
I think that's way overrated. And one of my notes on this was I respect it started the slasher genre as we know it today, but man, is this slow, boring, and nothing happens till the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I think it's you've watched horror films now; they're just so by the by, like
Yeah, yeah,
majority of
definitely.
them. So I think for this to start it off, it did try and set up these characters like Laurie Strode, and
Mm,
gave Michael a bit of backstory. It's got Doctor Loomis in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it builds up to that crescendo ending, and I think it was, yeah, I
Uh,
think it's decent.
Fair enough. If you this is let's say this there's no right wrong answer, it's just our opinions. Where have I gone? Number four is Gone with the Wind. It's got an 8, and I'll tell you let me tell you the ratings first. It's got an 8.2.
Um, so
Yeah,
that's slightly overrated.
I say slightly overrated.
Slightly overrated. Yeah.
The middle section with the Civil War and people evacuating, that was very riveting. And I've only seen it once, and that was about 2 or 3 years ago now, so my memory
Did I
isn't
watch this last year?
exactly great. Yeah, I didn't like the romance of the drama between them two and the children. Not because
Uh,
this was before my daughter was born, so
yeah.
I still didn't like the fact of everything that happened to the children. I thought I just
Mm.
didn't. But it was well shot. I will say for the film that was in the 40s, it was very well shot.
But
So would you?
it was like foreshadowed, though, wasn't it?
It was, yes, yes, yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
I did like that aspect.
So you're saying overrated,
Slightly
slightly
overrated.
overrated.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Number 5, The Watchmen, with Zack Snyder. It's got a 7.6 on IMDb.
You know what? I haven't seen this film for bloody years. I can't really say too much. I've heard like people say it's underrated.
Yeah,
So
I would. Go on. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I say like people are saying it's actually a lot, probably one of the best, up there with the best comic books. I wouldn't say the best one, but
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say the best, but I definitely think it's not as bad as people say it is, or not
yeah.
as good as. I think 7.6 is appropriately rated. I think it's a
Mm.
good movie, but people say to watch the extended edition. Well, I haven't watched that, so I can't comment.
Yeah, no man.
So number 6 with an 8.1 rating is Blade Runner.
Oh, I love me some Blade Runner. Um,
So
I'd say
8.1, just appropriately rated.
8.1. Yeah, appropriately rated.
Appropriately rated.
Yeah.
So this is the bit of a shocker one for me, and this is the one I mentioned briefly before we started. Number 7 is The Deer Hunter.
Oh, that's
That was
underrated.
that was on overrated lists.
That's
It
underrated.
has an 8.1 on IMDb.
Yeah.
So I put a bit, as I said before, doing some research on this. Some find the film manipulative and emotionally excessive, while others see it as a timeless and moving portrayal of trauma and loss. And I lean towards that
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
The start of that film, where the camaraderie of the wedding, yes, the wedding goes a bit long
It
than
is a
what I
bit
would
long,
like,
yeah, but it
but
does
you
purpose.
the transition from them going from that to coming back home.
Yeah, yeah,
Excellent,
yeah.
excellent. And did that? You know about the sound? I mentioned about De Niro, same character. Deer Hunter's prime example.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Complete different character.
yeah.
You go on about character studies. He could be a character study
Yeah,
in that film.
and it
So now,
was Michael Summers. I can never pronounce his surname. Samino.
yeah,
He was in Godfather.
yeah,
Yeah, it's his final
excellent.
film, isn't it? Because he
I know
passed away. Yeah,
he didn't look well though when you watch it.
yeah,
I think he didn't look well, but then, like you say, he passed away shortly after.
yeah. That's
So no,
underrated.
yeah, 8.1 should be higher. So number 8 is, I don't know if you've seen this, The Quiet Man, John Wayne, directed by John Ford.
Oh, yeah, that's overrated. That is.
Very overrated.
Yeah,
Everyone, John Ford, this is his best film. John Wayne was very proud of that film. Maureen O'Hara was very proud of that film. But it was his dream to film in Ireland, and he got the chance. And I think he made a bit of a mid movie. It was the drama thing, and also I think the fact that Maureen O'Hara was like in the early 30s, and John Wayne was like in his early 50s, and some of the kissing scenes are very awkward, man.
yeah,
But also I didn't buy the fact that they loved each other. Do you know what I mean? Like I just didn't. I
yeah.
didn't.
Chemistry wasn't there, was it?
There was there was no chemistry.
Mm.
But it's funny you say that, because when they were in previous films together, there was a bit of chemistry going for them there. So I don't know if I haven't done much research behind it, but it'd be interesting. It gives you the vibe that there wasn't something going on behind the scenes, that they obviously might not go along, or there's something,
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
I would say, yeah, I would agree, overrated. But 9, Barbie, it's 6.8 on IMDb.
God,
Vastly overrated.
yeah,
Should be
I'd
at a
say that.
freaking 4.1 or something like that. Movie shit. And
Yeah.
people need to get their head off their asses. Sorry,
Uh,
that was really aggressive. Sorry. So,
yeah,
I mean, if you hate men, it's a great movie.
yeah. I
But
saw
I'm
this
not
at the
going to say,
cinema,
oh, go
full of
on,
women. I felt like when I left, I was like, "Sorry, ladies. Sorry,
mate.
sorry."
Sorry for
Yeah,
being a man.
yeah,
I'm sorry we do this horrible shit.
yeah.
Um,
But I think they missed an opportunity, and I'm not going to get all philosophical. It's about a fucking Barbie, you know what I mean? But hey, for little girls and whatever, this could, whatever. I thought they could have ended that with a really nice, positive messages for both genders, but
Yeah,
they chose not
yes,
to.
they
They
chose
chose
not
not
to.
to.
And this is one of my main issues with the film. So if you're a young girl going to watch that movie, and yet you come out of that thinking the men are the worst freaking thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because the men in that movie are portrayed as dumb or horrible or biggest pieces of shit on the planet. But yet
Mm.
every woman in that movie is fucking God's gift to woman, just to
Yeah.
men. Well, I said to men, to fucking women by the looks of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if that, yeah, I tell you what, and this might be controversial, we have a hot take. If that was an Action Man movie and we made women look awful in that movie, that film would get cancelled. The director would get cancelled. The lead
Yeah.
actor would get cancelled. The whole thing would just be kaput very quickly.
Yeah.
But because there was a bit of a message behind it, women power, woohoo. Yeah, and it was nominated for best picture.
They're taking the
It was
piss with that. They
it
have
was
to, they have
taking
to
it was
tick a
taking
box.
the piss.
They
No,
had to.
it
They could.
yes,
They could not. They could not nominate it, man. They would have
yeah,
been.
because they said, well, the Academy is full of men who hate women, so
Yeah.
that's why. Yeah, it's bullshit. I think I'm not just saying it. It sounds like I'm on a tangent about sexism or some shit. But
No.
as a bloke, I do take offense to that movie because not all men are horrible. Actually, believe it or not, we're soft. Sometimes we're the pillars. People have got problems. They come to us, or we solve problems, whether it be physically or whatever. But the fact that the movie made out the women don't need men to help build um, houses or or to run a country or whatever. They're saying that the world would be better without us, basically. No, fuck you. No, I'm not having it. I hate this movie. I hate it. I really do. And I tell you what, one day I'm gonna freaking make sure I make an action man movie. I'm gonna make the villain a woman.
Oh, jeez. Nice knowing you. Thanks
Yeah,
everyone for watching this. Bye.
yeah, cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick to death. You know what? You're right. If they made at the end of the movie, they made like a montage of them working together, building something together, world leaders coming together, both of different sex, whatever. I would have gone and gone. You know what? Fair enough. It doesn't mean we have to be separate. We can be
Yeah.
equal. We can be blah blah blah, which I firmly, strongly believe in. But the way the movie's message at the end did not hit well with
No.
me.
No. No.
So definitely very overrated.
Mm.
10 is probably the most overrated movie of all time, which is Forrest Gump. It's 8.8 on IMDb.
Yeah, that almost made my list of overrated.
I will
So
not dispute anything.
yeah, so
So
it's overrated.
a lot of people's negatives of this movie, its simplistic portrayal of American history and its reliance on its sentimentality. A lot of people argue that the film whitewashes history and simplifies complex issues and promotes a conservative obedience to authority, celebrating family and individual success, blah, 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 blah. Others find the film's sentimentality and its narrative structurally gimmicky. However, the film remains popular and beloved with its heartwarming story and Tom Hanks' performance resonating with audiences. I actually took time to write that.
Oh wow, Jesus.
I know, did it right, didn't
Yeah,
I?
yeah. Tom Hanks is good as Forrest Gump, but I think his relationship with Jenny is fucking weird. It's like,
Very weird.
yeah, I don't really buy that. And like they do gloss over stuff
Yeah,
like Vietnam, and all that other like things he gets up to. It,
yeah,
yeah, and he becomes like really popular at one stage, doesn't he? I can't. It's been a few years since I've watched it, but yeah, it is a bit. And I've never really understood or agreed with the saying, "Life is a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get."
yeah.
It's like,
Well,
yeah,
if you
but
read the fucking label on the side, it's what
just turn it over. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'd say that's slightly overrated. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's very overrated. But number 11 is The Hangover at a 7.7 rating.
Again, I want to watch that again 'cause it's been a few years, but I'm going to say overrated slightly.
I'm going to say slightly overrated.
Yeah.
I think the first one's probably the best one.
Yeah.
It is very funny from what I remember. Again, this is a film I haven't seen for years, same as
Years.
you.
Yeah.
So I would like to watch it again. But from what I remember, I think it was funny. But people saying it's one of the best comedies ever made. I don't think I wouldn't put it on that pedestal. If I made a top 20, I don't think it'd make it in the list.
No. No. No.
Number 12 is Once Upon a Time in America. Sergio Leone's 8.3 on IMDb.
Yeah. It's tricky on that is because I remember watching it thinking like I don't understand the hype.
Mm.
The characters Nero, who like is one of my favorites, could not buy into him, or James Woods.
Yeah, yeah,
And like the ending,
yeah,
it's very long, and like I say, I can watch long stuff. Doesn't fuss me, but I thought it was long for the sake of being long.
yeah.
I do want to watch it again, but I'm going to say overrated.
For now, yeah,
No.
definitely. Well, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I think I gave it a 6 or 7 out of 10, one or the
Yeah.
other. I remember enjoying it. I remember thinking this is, a good character study on these four blokes. It's not, see them go through the years and rise up. There's something that happens halfway through the film that totally throws me off Nero's character. I did not like him for the rest of the movie. And I think you know what I'm on about.
Yeah.
But it's regarded as one of the best crime dramas, like what this mob movie. I mean, I totally disagree with that. As a guy who watches a lot of mobster films
Mm,
and read law books, I can vastly disagree with that. But and some people say it's Sergio Leone's best movie. Again, just strongly disagree with that. You could easily put
good,
Once
bad,
Upon
the
a Time in
ugly.
the West. You could put The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Yep, you could put any of those way above
Mm,
Once Upon a Time in America. So number 13, it's The King's Speech. It beat The Social Network, Inception, Toy Story 3, True Grit, Black Swan, and The Fighter at the 83rd Academy Awards to win Best Picture.
damn, bloody hell.
That's why a lot of people say it's overrated. It's got an 8.0 rating. I love The King's Speech.
Yeah, yeah,
However, going up against those films, I would happily give it to Toy Story 3 or Inception.
yeah. I think it's difficult, really, when you say that, putting up against those films. It's like, yeah, well, that's not the best one out of the lot. But in terms of by itself, the King's Speech overall, I'd say is fairly rated.
I would say fairly rated.
Mm,
I'm massive on The King's Speech. I think Colin Firth, it's my favourite performance of his. Jeffrey Rush is excellent in the movie as well. I think the production design is really well done. Story beats, it is quite intense because at the time of war they needed rallying and he couldn't
yeah,
freaking
couldn't
talk to
speak.
a goose. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that lead up him that final scene of him walking in to deliver that speech and everyone's just staring at him. You feel the ramifications and the draw and like what would happen if this goes wrong,
yeah,
and the build up to it, and also their friendship building over the time, him developing as a person, becoming more confident in himself. I think there's a lot of things going for it. I do like to
mm.
say I don't think it's overrated by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
So that was the one I found on a overrated
All
list.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But in terms of if you were to play, you hit the nail on the head. You put them against them, you would say yeah, overrated, but does not mean it's a bad movie. I think it's a fantastic movie.
yeah,
Number 14, I'm not sure if you watched this, but it was actually on a lot of underrated lists. Master and Commander with Russell
yeah,
Crowe.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, of course you would. You should know 2000 films. 7.5 on IMDb.
It's-
I'd say appropriately rated. I think it's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Say
But
appropriately rated.
yeah, but a lot of people say it's underrated. People
Uh,
have that a lot higher. Again, it's a good. I like the camaraderie. I like Russell Crowe's performance in the film. I think the set design, the production design, the costumes. I think everything filmmaking wise is great. The story has a few problems, but from a filmmaking standpoint, I think it's pretty solid.
it is
Number 15, In Bruges.
in fucking Bruges.
In
Oh yeah,
Bruges. The Bahamas, maybe. um,
yeah.
7.9 on IMDb. I
That's
can't remember what
underrated.
list. Most of the Yeah, I've put that a lot higher.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the films I got a 10. And the fact I've actually been to Bruges as
Oh,
well. Yeah, we've walked around the place with the market.
mm.
It's very
You see any
felt like
pennies dropping? Did you?
I didn't, and I didn't see a man jump out the bloody church either.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I went up to that church.
Uh,
Me and the future father-in-law, we went up to there. It took us forever to get up there. It
yeah.
was a lot of stairs. No wonder the freaking American had a heart attack in the movie. Yeah, looking down and thinking, Jesus Christ, man, I would
Yeah.
not want to jump out of that. Going off tangents. Yeah, the film is funny as hell. If you
Yeah.
dark comedy to
Dark comedy.
perfection, yeah,
Ralph Fiennes great in that.
Ralph Fiennes, all the performances in this movie, even from the side characters, the dwarf was funny as hell. The woman who tries to rob him and develops a relationship, she was great. Performances in this film are excellent. It's funny, whippy, quick dialogue. The story as well, quite tragic as
Yeah, yeah,
well.
yeah.
It's one of those vast. Like, I will say, I prefer In Bruges to Banshees of Inisherin, same director.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same. Yeah.
by a mile, but a lot of people prefer Banshees to In Bruges. No, not for me. In Bruges is like one of my favorite comedies ever. But I think that was on an overrated list. Don't correct me, but that's why I put it on here. Yeah, I would say underrated. 7.9 should be a lot higher. 8.5, 8.7, whatever. So yeah, and if no one's watched In Bruges, I hope you have because it's phenomenal. If you like dark comedy, it's so worth the watch. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Um, Number
It is.
16, The Cabin in the Woods. That's on an underrated list.
What was the rating for that? 7.
7.0.
So it's fairly rated, to be honest.
Would you? Okay, I'd find it slightly underrated. I would have
Mm.
that a lot higher. I think the first half of the movie, where it seems like a generic slasher movie, Evil Dead vibes, etc., and then halfway the bit with Chris Hemsworth, and they're actually in a freaking sealed off area, and
Yeah.
the cabin's actually like this massive base with these horrible monsters. The twist in that movie is just insane. The last 40 minutes of it is just ridiculous.
Cheering on that.
I think when you compare the fact that it has a solid cast and the
Good
practical,
twist.
yeah, good twist. There's a lot of practical effects as well.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah,
Merman.
man likes practical effects. Creative as well, very creative. This one, number 17, is a 7.8. This is like my fiance's drive, right, to you. Like you vastly disagree with me. Okay, my missus definitely disagrees with me with this. So 7.8, I think it's very, very overrated. Get Out.
Yeah, I like Get Out. I think Get Out's. I'd say that's appropriately rated.
Vastly overrated.
Mm.
So
Ah,
I made a note on this, and you feel free to jump in. I found the social commentary to be heavy-handed and the plot twists obvious. It diminished the suspense and the overall impact. Also, the film's reliance on certain comedic elements, particularly his best mate, his TSA mate. He
mm.
relies on tired tropes and not being particularly clever or funny. Totally took me out of the movie. The whole thing's on the social commentary. I just could not get on. I just could not. Oops. I just could not vibe with it.
It's a fair point. I think just because you know something's coming doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing. Days do a rewatch. It's been a few years since I've watched it, so I can't really. I
Yeah.
remember just watching it and liking it and thinking, yeah, that's good. So I think 7.8 for me. I'd say that's fairly rated,
Okay. Fair
personally.
enough.
Yeah.
Uh, this next one I think is appropriately rated. So at a 5.9, I put it on there, the Terrifier trilogy.
And nah, them they're just fun. They're
But a lot of people
underrated.
I'd say a lot of people put this on underrated lists, but
Yeah.
I'd say this is appropriately rated. Now, I gotta say, I've made a note of this. I wanted to mention this. So yeah, even though it's Terrifier trilogy at a 5.9, I used an average rating calculator to combine all three film ratings. So
Mm.
the average rating came out for the trilogy was a 5.9. So yeah, I'm not as big on these as everyone else. I do think Art the Clown is a horror icon, and I do like Art the Clown. He's fun, he's creative, he's chaotic.
Is it
Yeah,
because he killed kids?
slightly. No, it just wasn't for me. You know, these sort of B movie vibe horror slashers. Yes, I respect practical effects, but I do think the practical effects are quite bad, very obvious for me. Especially the first one when he's sawing the woman in half.
He can't really
Um,
saw a woman in half, can he?
I know, right, I know that, but you can make it look a lot better than what you could. Fair enough,
I
it's a
think
low
they did a
budget.
good job on that budget for the first one.
Yeah,
He tried to make that film a few times.
but I respect. Listen, I'm not slating him. I respect the fact that they tried and they used practical effects. You and me are big practical effect lovers. I respect the fact they used it, but there's this one certain shot where he's cutting the woman up, and you can just clearly tell it's a mannequin. Like you can just tell takes you out of it. That doesn't diminish the fact that they put a lot of time and effort into it. That's all I'm saying. And that happens for the second one. A poor woman in the bedroom and terrified too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Some of the practical elements to that was like, but the second one I had more problem with the story. The story's a bit iffy
Mm.
for me. I'm just like, well, I know it's like a whatever, they're just fun, but and like you say, I say to you, switch off sometimes. Like you tell me to, but for this one, I could easily say the same for a lot of things that you watch and say, yeah, you just got to switch your brain off. I do try and switch my brain off with every horror because I know no horror movie is going to be perfect. But I just didn't vibe with it. I didn't really understand how it worked, and mainly due to the practical effect, and also some of the acting was really bad in it.
Yeah, some of the acting, yeah.
But
But that happens in B movies.
I don't take away the fact that it's it's done really well. And I'm glad it's done well. I'm glad the original idea has done really well.
Mm.
And his original idea is now a horror icon. You know, I hold art higher than Michael Myers. Bit of a hot take, but I just find him a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know if you think Terrifier is appropriately overrated or underrated. Number 19, Bohemian Rhapsody at a 7.9.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's
is
overrated.
overrated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you know what? I blame my dad for this because he was telling me all the inaccuracies.
Yeah, yeah.
And the obvious one where before the Live Aid performance, he tells his the bandmates that he has AIDS and he wasn't diagnosed till 1987 or 8,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years after Live Aid. So they did that for dramatic purposes,
Yeah.
but by like factually that didn't happen. And I think it's overglossed by Rami Malek's performance. Not saying he's bad,
Mm.
but I think the rest of the cast were a bit average. I think there was a lot of they took a lot of truth and twisted it just for the sake of story for the
Yeah.
film. Again, I blame him because he gave me a book I read and it did a lot more like factual. Obviously, there's a lot of problems I have with it, so I would easily say it's overrated.
Yeah, definitely overrated. Yeah.
Any thoughts? Any extra before we move on to the last one?
And like, it has the whole like the trope where he coughs and it's blood and all that shit, and this
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that just didn't happen. So yeah, it's a bit like you say, it's just for dramatic effect and all that crap.
So the last one, which I know we'll say for another time, but I have to bring it up briefly. Number 20, a 7.3 rating, which I think is underrated. Hereditary.
Yeah, that's overrated for me.
Fuck
Rated. We're gonna
no.
have to get in that in a future episode.
We will, but very briefly, the theme of family trauma, dealing with grief. The themes of this are so strong. The performances
Over the top.
are excellent.
Sorry.
The cinematography in this film, the wide shots of the house adds to the suspense. It's just full of dread throughout the whole film. Yes, you could argue the last 10, 15 minutes are a bit silly,
A
whatever,
bit.
but I don't think so. I think the way it accumulates to the final third act from what we get previously and having to mentally break someone down, their spirit, their soul, whatever. I think it's so strong, and I think it's one of the best horror movies of the 21st century. I have it at a 10 out of 10, Jack.
Oh God.
It's Hereditary is fucking phenomenal.
It's your opinion, but
Feel like Mama Drive, you know.
yeah, 10
I'm
out of
just
10.
saying,
Wow. Jesus.
yeah.
I ain't got drive it. Fucking 10. I got drive it at 9.
You didn't get Drive. Wow, fucking hell, what are you defending it for then?
A
9
9
out
out
of
of
10. So
10.
you have a problem with it, don't you?
Well, before we end it now, right? There's a few like scenes. I didn't see the point in the where he's dressed, he's got the mask on, and he goes in to look at Ron Perlman. That scene, I will give you, is a bit like, what you doing, mate?
It's for reminding me. I was thinking, what
Yeah,
the fuck's he
I was a
doing?
bit like, It looks like bloody Mission Impossible, mate. Tom Cruise with
Yeah,
his bloody
yeah.
yeah. So that I
Oh, good
thought,
thing
well,
you
he could,
remember that.
yeah, I thought, well, he could have just stayed in his car and looked, but whatever. And the scene, Ron Perlman's death, like, it's just a bit,
Oh, that's so over the top and dramatic. So shit.
yeah, yeah.
And
That's
also the
it.
fact the car goes fucking flying off the freaking thing like that. I thought it was so
Yeah,
badly done.
that part did take me out a bit. I thought, like I don't know, but this is in all films. It's like when somebody wants to kill somebody, they're like, "I'm going to kill him," but so fucking awesome. Like I'm gonna knock him off a fucking cliff or something.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
like,
I'm saying. For dramatic effect, it's
yeah,
unnecessary.
yeah.
Just
Whereas like
I love the simplistic things where he just walks up and doesn't give him a chance to talk. He just goes
yeah, yeah,
done. That's cool for me.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
no final speeches, no final dramatic fight. It's just no. It would have been better.
yeah.
I
Because
love
everything
the
else,
fact we've gone from Hereditary to Drive again.
yeah, because everything else in that, it was to me anyway. It was really like it's set in this realistic sort of way. But we won't get into it again because we've been
No, we
waffling
won't.
for ages. But
Hereditary. So you were saying vastly
Hereditary,
overrated.
vastly overrated. I will
All
watch it
right.
again, but I remember just thinking this is
Do
why.
you know something? You know, you mentioned about Thor: Love and Thunder and a drunk night. I would love to watch Hereditary with you.
Yeah,
I really would. Just so we see what our ideas are.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I really enjoyed that.
yeah,
I think that was the first time we really got really heated. So let us know what your overrated films are
yeah,
and what your underrated films are. Will you watch any of the films we've mentioned on underrated? Get your opinion. And do you think any of the films we mentioned? What your take on them? Do you think they're overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated?
yeah. Jump in the comments. Let us know what you'd like for us to discuss in future ones as well.
Yep, please
Yeah,
do.
chat about
And
anything.
yeah, we're up for any topic of debate or a film that we haven't watched. Ask if we watched it, and we'll see if we can watch it in the future
Yeah,
and give our thoughts on whatever else. I'm really pleased with that. I'm really enjoyed that. So until next time, it's
so next time.
Projection Room. I'm Gaz, and that's beautiful Jack. Even though drive shit. Bye.
Bye.